This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
Holy shit, what is going on, Full-Time family? I don't know how long this stream is going to go, and it's probably ill-advised. For one, I was doing some shit right before it started, but I knew I had to get here. Just got off the Come Get This Work mobcast. We had a panel. Good conversation going. Figured we would continue it on this channel if everybody's here. So we're going to try and get a panel going. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, because I might have to like mute my shit, you know what I'm saying, and go behind the scenes for a second. So hopefully we'll have a panel going. But with that being said, we're going to try and get this panel going and just chop it up about some MMA, some WMMA specifically tonight. WMMA specifically tonight. Let me move this over here. We were talking about, you know, future Kayla Harrison. People just don't seem to understand the potential, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. People might be, you know, they might be hating on, but that's a future topic. Want to talk maybe a little about McGregor versus Khabib. Also, full disclosure, I'm off the proper 12. Yo, I did not intend to drink this much tonight. I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk, right? I'm a little tipsy. I'm not drunk. I've paced myself. But what I'm saying is, this is for UFC 229. I started this bottle today. I probably won't take more shots on this show. Maybe one. But hopefully we can get a panel going and just talk about some MMA or some WMMA. Continue the conversation. General Africa had to go over on the Come Get This Work mobcast, so I figured we would continue it over here. Stamina MC in the building. Unemployed Mario Yamasaki M24 in the building. What's going on, everybody? I'm him. Says I'm up early. Give me the link. Says RPIT. All right, I'm putting the link in the chat, man. I ain't got time to be fucking around with the emails, all of that bullshit. We gotta get a panel going, because pretty soon my girl's gonna get here, so I'm gonna have to mute my mic, you know, for like 5 seconds, right? 3 minutes, something. So I want to get a panel going. We can just talk some MMA. This is just the platform for that right now, right? Nothing, no spectacular show, just for fans to talk MMA ahead of UFC 229. Kenshiro Ryu MMA says your audio volume seems very low, Full-Time. Yeah, this is this stupid ass fucking computer I bought, man. I took out a payday loan and bought the most expensive computer you can get at Walmart before I interviewed Sean O'Malley, so I can like have, because I had an old ass laptop that couldn't even barely run Skype. 14. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yo, thank you, fucking thank you, Kenshiro Ryu MMA, for letting me know how low my volume was. That is some baby back bagel biting bullshit. Holy flying flipping flapjacks. My shit was just at 14. What I was saying, you probably couldn't hear me because it was so low. What I was saying was, like, I took out a payday loan right before I interviewed Sean O'Malley so I could have a decent computer that would run a recorder and be able to interview him, right? So I took out a payday loan, got them. There was a $400 computer at Walmart and a $600 computer. I was going to get the 400 and I was like, babe, this is very important. This is like this is an investment. Jorge won with the $9.99. Yo, thank you very much, Jorge won. That is fucking phenomenal. I just came on here bullshitting just to chop it up and talk some MMA, some WMMA with some fellow fans. I didn't even expect a super chat. So, I honestly, I don't even care. Like, it might sound crazy to you guys. I don't care about super chats. I don't care about donations or any of that. I'm not redoing my merch. I'm not money hungry. I don't care. I was just wondering what was going on with YouTube. But now that I've figured out my channel's kind of getting fucked anyway, I'm not looking at it as like a future or something. We're just talking as MMA fans. I get on here to have fun. So thank you very much, Jorge, for the $9.99 super chat. That is very much appreciated, but unexpected. So that's just kind of blows my mind. So thank you very much for the super chat. Kenshiro Reeves says I lost 1,700 last 2 weeks on poker. There goes my $15.99 new PC. Damn, that's unfortunate, man. That is fucking unfortunate. So sorry to hear that, Kenshiro Ryu MMA. But hey, I'm sure you'll come back. Quincy Panola with the 5 in the super chat. Thank you, Quincy Panola, for the 5 in the super chat again. I don't I don't even like if you need the 5, if you need the money, I don't expect it. I don't want it. I know there's a lot of people broke like me. I don't want the money. I'm not there anymore. Like there was a point where I was like, yo, but I've had work these last couple of weeks, so I'm not as, I don't want to say desperate, but but thank you so much for the 5 in the super chat. It is much appreciated. I just want to talk some MMA. Let's do it, man. WMMA. You see the WMMA panel. I'm gonna send RPITT the link. I'm gonna send anybody else the link that wants to talk some WMMA. So yeah, man, that's kind of dope. I got on here just expecting to continue the momcast, like with some fellow fans, just talking some shit. But yo, thank you guys very much. Nah, it's okay. I won 2,600 the week before that. Next week, I'm drawing 5,000 in the poker room while I play. Well, motherfucking let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Shit, when I heard lost 1,700, to me, that's 1,700 is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So that's good to hear. You're still up, but yeah, so with that being said, he said Khabib seemed shook and upset at the presser. I honestly thought Khabib handled the presser pretty well, but let me get the link in the chat. Let me get this Google Hangout up. I'm not really just trying to do this myself. I'm trying to talk with the motherfucking family tonight, so let's pull that up. That's what this is. This is an impromptu-ass stream, panel, anybody talk. That's how I'm feeling. And I probably drank a little too much proper 12. I'm not sloppy drunk, though, right? I'm a big boy. I can handle my liquor. But, yeah, a little tipsy, but I might take 1 shot tonight. The rest I'm saving for UFC 229. Let's go. Where's the link? Copy link to share. All right, let me move that over here. Boom, boom, boom. Pull up the chat. And here's the link. Is Proper 12 worth it? Fuck yeah, it's worth it to me. I mean, I'm broke, so I wouldn't buy more than 1 bottle. Like it's definitely worth it for a special occasion. But, you know, it's crazy because rich people think this shit is like, and this is just what I've got, right? Maybe it's just hit pieces, but Business Insider, some other whiskey reviewers have gave it some bad reviews, but at the same time, I think this shit is fine. It also gets you fucked up. Like, what are you buying liquor for? A fucking taste test or to get you fucked up? I think it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So here's the link. Boom. Crocker, this week, hell, what the fuck? Yo, YouTube didn't let me put a link in my own chat. Get the fuck out of here. Here it is. That one should work. Cool the Fool says there's nowhere even to score any Proper 12 where I live. That fucking sucks. Cool the Fool. I had to call 3, maybe the 4th liquor store. I think the 4th liquor store had it. But, well, not me personally. My girl had to call for me before she went. She didn't have to. I could have did it. But she did it for me, right? She called the liquor stores for me and seen where they had the Proper 12. And the first few said sold out. A couple of them didn't have it. One of them didn't have it. One of them was like, yo, we're sold out. But boom. And the distributor said they ain't got no more. So we found one that still had a whole Proper 12 display. Do we got
What's
somebody?
up, Full-Time MMA?
Whoa, Brian motherfucking Jensen in the building. What's going on, Brian Jensen?
Man?
Good to talk to you, good sir.
What's up? The game went great. The Patriots whooped that ass.
Patriots whooped that ass. I saw a score update.
They won by 14 points. It was 38-24.
Let's go, man. Fucking, I was a little worried originally. And now, right now, I used to be a hardcore NFL fan, big Patriots fan, actually, specifically. But recently, I've been a little tuned out of NFL, tuned into MMA, but I did see what's going on this season. And
yeah,
I saw.
I'm not a football junkie. I'm not a huge fan, but I love football and I love basketball, but my passion is boxing and MMA. And
all right.
I mean, I'm more like into women's MMA and men's boxing. That's what I'm mostly into. And that's what I mostly talk about on my channel. But, you know, I do love football. I love watching football. I love watching basketball. And I keep up with it. I'm educated on a lot of different sports. The only sports that I don't like is soccer, golf, and tennis. I don't give a fuck about those sports.
Okay.
I really only keep up with tennis for the Williams sisters. That's it. That's the only reason that I would watch tennis. I only keep up with golf, and Tiger Woods is doing well. And this year he's done great. This year Tiger Woods did great. He won the PGA, his 80th win. He's doing great. But and soccer I don't give a fuck about. The only team that I probably keep up with in soccer is from South Africa. That's it. There's really and I don't care about American team in soccer, but for most part, I just don't care.
All right. Well, Good introduction for Brian Jensen to the channel and full-time family. I'm sure most of you know from Coach's channel, but Brian Jensen, he's definitely got a great opinion on MMA. I know him from CSH Combat Sports. Make sure you subscribe there. You've probably heard me plug that many times, but yeah. So salute to Brian Jensen for joining the panel. We also got Stamina MC in the building. Salute to Stamina MC. It is always good when Stamina can join the chat, man. Salute. What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir. Stay with them sleepless ones, regular shit.
Yes, sir. Sleepless
Regular
ones.
shit.
Kenshiro Enos is proper 12, only 24, so it isn't a great whiskey. It's middle tier taste. Jorge One says Business Insider are not whiskey reviewers. They're corporate whores probably sucking on those Jameson bros dick. 1, 2, 3. Hashtag fuck the Jameson brothers. Let's go. That shit was crazy. Has anybody fact check that? Are there actually Jameson brothers? Or did that just sound good?
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. It's fine.
Okay. Same with the Khabib thing at the open workouts. A lot of people might have missed that. It might not even be true, but the fact that Conor showed up so late, like we didn't even like see that confrontation, right? Like now all we get to see is the weigh-ins, the face-off, and the fucking fight. It is so close, 2 days away. Holy smokes. Eric Raymond said, shout out to the full-time family. Shout out to Eric Raymond and the full-time family. Chris Connor says, think we're going to get that Jones-Gus rematch. News this weekend. Possibility for UFC 232. But so we'll start off with McGregor and Khabib. And I'll ask you this, and I'll ask you first, Stamina MC. Did you watch the open workouts?
I haven't, no. I was out at the time.
What about you, Brian Jensen? Did you see the open workouts at all yet?
I saw the highlights. I saw the highlights on the UFC app on YouTube. I didn't see the press conference yet. I'll watch it after we're done here.
Okay.
But after we're done with this chat, then I'll watch the press conference and then I'll try to go to sleep.
Sounds good. Hey, man.
I'll wake up.
I do not blame you for that because I'm a person that, like, you know, I like to watch the embedded like the day before the fight. Like,
yeah,
if you have time. Now the problem with that is sometimes you like to do that and then you fuck around and get busy before the fight. So it's like, oh, I just missed every embedded. Like that's happened to me before. But yeah, man, make sure you watch those because it's been great. Like the first press conference, I'm sure you guys saw that. But the first press conference was epic. Go ahead. Who the fuck is that? Eric Raymond joined the full-time family. Hit subscribe. Thank you very much for hitting subscribe, Eric Raymond. But yeah, I'm sure you guys saw the first press conference, but the open workouts, Conor McGregor came out. I mean, it was funny because he came out first, so he was looking good, and you know he had the crowd on his side, and he was working out, showing his sprawls, throwing a bunch of fucking Bruce Lee kicks, showing he's the superior martial artist. And Stamina MC pointed that out earlier on the Mobcast. Conor McGregor is the superior martial artist. Even if you're just talking about well-rounded, if you're talking about, I mean, a martial artist, Conor McGregor's the better martial artist. But he's also at the same time facing a bad matchup. It's crazy because Conor McGregor's looked at as more of a striker, and I think that's fair. Khabib is one of the best grapplers in the lightweight division, and usually the striker is at the disadvantage for the grappler. But the problem is this is a special case. The problem is Conor McGregor's not your average striker. The problem is Conor McGregor may be on a higher level than anybody Khabib's fought to date, aside from maybe Rafael Dos Anjos. So
yeah,
it's
different.
That's
the thing. Like Khabib is the best wrestler grappler that Conor has ever fought, and Conor is the best striker and stand-up artist that Khabib has ever fought. So it's a very even fight. It's a very even fight. It really depends on Conor's takedown defense and whether Khabib could take Conor's left hand. If he could take that left, then it could be a wrap for Conor after the first 10 minutes.
Yes, sir. So, and so with that being said, man, it could be a wrap for McGregor. And I want to ask you this. I'll ask you, Stamina, since Brian just went. From what you've saw so far leading up to this fight, and just what you know about both of these fighters so far, like as far as Conor McGregor and the mental warfare, and what you know about both of these fighters, do you think Conor McGregor has got into Khabib's head enough to to really have a chance in this fight, because honestly, that's one of the only ways I think Conor wins this fight, is making Khabib play his game, trying to make him prove a point, let him up, get more. Because I think Khabib has a favorable matchup. So what do you think about everything leading up to the fight, Stamina?
I think that for the most part, Khabib's been unaffected. There have been little flashes of annoyance, little flashes of irritation, but it's almost like Conor will almost undo all his good work, because he will say something that actually strikes a chord, but then in the next breath he'll say something so outlandish that Khabib will just be reminded, oh yeah, this is Conor, this is what he does, and we'll just snap back out of it and be like, okay, whatever, carry on, talk your shit. There have been certain times when there's definitely been, you know, just a tightness in his voice, or you know, his posture's just adjusted a little bit. It's like, okay, yeah, you're listening now. He's got you now. But then afterwards, he'll be like, hey, and he'll just wave it off. So in that sense, if Conor's able to say something that Khabib can actually carry with him to the octagon, then he wins. Even though Conor went to great pains to say that he doesn't give a fuck one way or the other, he'll take the bonus if it presents itself. Of course he fucking will. But I just don't know that such a thing is possible. I don't know that there's anything that Conor can say truthfully or even fictionally that Khabib will take into the octagon. It will annoy him for that moment, but yeah, long term, don't know about that.
I like what you had to say there, because that's what I saw. Like, I saw flashes where Khabib was like, oh, whoa, 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 he just said some shit. But then he was, oh, okay, this motherfucker's over-animated and he's probably drunk. Like, first of all, though, like, he said one thing that might have got Khabib's attention, that he was like, whoa, I didn't expect you to know that, motherfucker. But then kind of he realized it was kind of, I completely agree with that. And because I was like, because a lot of people were saying, oh, Conor can't get to Khabib. But I saw those flashes that you're talking about. Like, there was a couple of things he said that made Khabib go, what? like, but other than that, then, and then he snapped back into it. But on top of that, though, I think Khabib came into today's press conference, righted those wrongs, was stern, didn't stumble, didn't stutter, answered questions in the face of boos, didn't wait on McGregor at all. I think Khabib came in today and I think he fucking ate performance. I think he did amazing today. I don't think like a lot of like kind of, oh, he didn't wait on me. He didn't want to wait. Like, motherfucker, hell no, he's not waiting on you. Yeah, he's gonna wait. Like, I liked how it played out. What about you, Brian Jensen? What are your thoughts on how this fight plays out, and what do you think about the lead up to this fight?
I think there are moments of Khabib being frustrated and annoyed by Conor, but it's going to show leading up to the fight when Khabib is doing the ring walk, and we'll see how he fights. If he gets really reckless and feels like he has something to prove on the feet, and if he just throws like wild shots and goes in and fights angry, and fights out of his normal comfort zone, then he could open himself to getting knocked out by Conor. Because what people don't realize is that Conor, he talks all this shit and acts crazy, but he's a counter striker. He does all this wild shit leading up to the fight, and during the fight, he's patient. And that's what happened to Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez, he lost his patience against Conor, and Conor is just waiting for Eddie to open up, and so he could counter him and then knock him out. And once Eddie got hit with that first shot, that was it. His game plan just went out the window. And if Khabib isn't patient with Conor, and he goes in there reckless and opens himself up, he could get knocked out. You know, I mean, Conor waited for Aldo to open up before he knocked him out in 13 seconds. I'm not saying the same thing could happen to Khabib, but we've never seen Khabib get hit by anybody that hits as hard as Conor. I mean, Khabib got rocked against Michael Johnson in the first round.
You know what?
If you're getting rocked by Michael Johnson, you're probably going to get rocked by Conor, who's bigger than Michael Johnson and hits harder.
No, and so one second, Arpit.
You look at Aldo.
Hold on.
You look at Aldo leading up to him fighting Conor. He was very nervous and shaky walking to that octagon and inside that octagon. Like, he was unusually nervous.
Okay, but Brian, real quick, I got to ask you this. Before we go forward, I gotta ask you this about. I agree with what you're saying, and I want to know what you have to think about this leading up to this fight, man. And it might be not a big deal. What do you think about the motherfucking? Because I agree with what you said. He hasn't fought anybody like Conor yet. He hasn't been hit. Might have been hit a few times by Michael Johnson. And infamous MMA, if he was here right now, he would tell you it was 6 times specifically with the left. But what I'm saying is, what do you think about the bruises that were on Khabib's face, like coming into this? Do you think that didn't mean anything? It was just hard sparring? That don't look like a good sign for Khabib. Like he had his fucking right eye was bruised. Like he had his nose was bruised. It could just be hard sparring leading up to the biggest fight of your life. But
well, that's just AKA. I mean, that's just AKA.
Okay, I hear you. I was just saying, yeah, if your sparring partner's doing to that, do you realize what the fuck McGregor's gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it just means that he's training hard and he's getting prepared.
I hear that.
Him having bruises, that's. I mean, fighters get bruises a lot going into fights.
Okay, and I want to say one last thing. I want to say, Arpit, Stamina, and Brian, salute to you guys. I want to take this last shot of Proper 12, but I want to hear your thoughts, Arpit, real quick. What are your thoughts, man, on McGregor and Khabib? What were you going to interject and say?
First of all, everybody from India, it is good morning. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
The problem is that Conor is trying too desperate. At today's, I've saw a desperate side of Conor McGregor. Nothing else. He's trying too desperate to get in his head, to get the head of Khabib. I'm telling you, if he continue like this, he gonna be.
I think Arpit might have just cut off.
Everybody went.
Everybody went. Brian and Arpit at the same time. Hopefully that's not on my end. I don't know. We got the strong enough connections. I mean, that is natural selection of connections. No, yeah. May the best connection. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're here. I'm sure he'll be back soon. Good morning to India. Arpit will be back soon.
Yeah, he'll be back.
She wrote.
It's interesting. Says that about today, though. I didn't feel like that was really what Conor. The first one, yeah, absolutely. Conor was going all out, and he was doing a bit too much. Today, I don't really feel like that. It's interesting that he says that. I mean, Arpit says a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, but you know, he'll obviously expound on that point when he comes back. But interesting.
Okay, well, hopefully Arpit and everyone. I'm gonna put the link back in the chat. Hopefully everyone hops back on quick. There's Brian, because I need you guys to take over. My girl just came up the stairs, and so it's gonna be a little loud for me for a second. So I need you guys to take over. I need Arpit's thoughts. I don't know, Brian, you and Arpit fell off at the same time. That was interesting. So, yeah, Arpit was in the middle of speaking, but we were still on McGregor versus Khabib. You guys got any more thoughts on McGregor versus Khabib, or you guys want to move to UFC 230? Is that the next topic?
FT, do your thing, man. We'll cook. Go on, do your thing.
Okay, well, cook. That's awesome. If you guys cook, that is awesome. While you cook, Brian, I'll probably be eating. You, man. You.
Brian, you still there, brother?
Yeah.
Let's hear you, man. What you got to say?
I said all I needed to say about the Conor.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel bite.
Where's your heart calling you for 230? Then what you drawn to?
230. I mean, the whole card looks good, but I mean, I have said, you know, I criticize the UFC for not giving the fans what they want. I mean, the fans wanted Valentina versus Joanna. The fans wanted Nate Diaz to fight Dustin Poirier for 5 rounds. Now Dana White is thinking about making it a 5-round fight. So I'm like, if you're going to make that a 5-round fight, you just make that the main event and just have Valentina fight Joanna, you know, and just give the fans what they want. I mean, the UFC pride itself for decades. Once Dana White took over, he prided himself of giving the fans what they wanted, having the best fight the best, and having the best fight the best immediately. And you know, I just don't feel like the UFC is doing that. Like, ever since the UFC became, you know, a $4.4 billion company,
I don't know.
You know, they just been taking the fans.
But yeah, I'm just talking. There ain't no video.
At least this year. Like, this year, I just don't feel like they're really. Like, there's been a few missteps in giving the fans.
I figured the dog's about to be loud as fuck and all that.
And sometimes some things just also didn't work out. Like, people wanted to see Max Holloway fight Frankie Edgar,
I don't care.
and Brian Ortega. But Max Holloway has a lot of injuries and health issues.
Castaway cocktail.
Castaway
and,
cocktail.
You know,
Blackberry
Valentina
sangria.
wanted to fight
drinks.
Nico, but Nico didn't really want to
And
fight.
strawberry peach. Yeah, this all was.
And,
It was all
you know, but this whole situation going on with MLB is probably the most glaring.
So I brought home cups of ice.
What's one of them called?
What we're seeing
Castaway
now with the
cocktail.
UFC.
This one's
It's
my
It's
favorite.
just very odd. And if the UFC goes like this, then people are just not going to buy its product. You know, I mean, boxing. What happened with HBO was really a warning. I mean, HBO was not making good fights. They did not give a shit about American-born fighters, and they were just like focusing on Eastern Europeans. And HBO finally closes doors to boxing. You know, and that could happen to Showtime. It could happen to ESPN. It could happen to anybody. And with the UFC, they're trying to get the best fighting the best, but there's all this politics going on, and these weird special privileges being given to certain fighters. And if they go this route, I mean, you know, in the near future, people are just not going to buy its product. People are just not going to care.
See, I agree with all of that. See, my thing, and as this has been like the constant kind of like topic of conversation for most of 2018, to my experience, is that whole thing of like the hardcores versus the casuals, and the necessitating the appeal to the casual fan. Now, I'm not a businessman. I don't own any sort of business. I probably never will. So my brain doesn't really work in that way. But my respect or my appreciation for the value of the casual dollar, the casual pound, the casual ruble, whatever, I don't think like that. Now, it's argued constantly that a lot of these decisions that I and perhaps you would consider to be missteps over the course of 2018 are for the benefit of the casual fan. And I'll reluctantly accept that. The thing is now, with the example of 230, Valentina Shevchenko versus Sijara Eubanks is absolutely not for the casual fan.
Right.
That's a hardcore fan matchup insofar as casual fans will neither know nor care about either of those women.
Yeah,
unless Valentina's in a bikini. But
only hardcore like MMA fans for women's MMA know who Sijara Eubanks is, because I watched every episode of Tough 26. I watched every episode, so I know who Sijara Eubanks is.
Mm-hmm.
I know where she comes from. I know that.
Oh dear, Brian's gone again.
It's all good. Well, I mean, I don't know what that is, but I like what you had to say about that. Like, it's definitely a hardcore matchup for the. You know, this is a matchup for the hardcore fans. But this is the thing. I was gonna say, what about Diaz versus Poirier? It's the co-main event, and I think a lot of the wham. If this were just reversed, Diaz Poirier main event, no one would give a fuck. What do you got to say about that?
The Diaz Poirier thing is actually the perfect storm. It's both. It's something that the casuals and the hardcores can be invested in. The point that I was going to make about the Shevchenko Eubanks matchup is that even as a self-professed hardcore fan, I don't want to see that shit in the main event. I don't want that for either of those women. It's not right. There is a pecking order to all of this shit, and that's not meant to be there. It isn't. So the idea that UFC. Go, Brian,
as a hardcore fan, I want to see the fight, even though I'm 99% certain that Valentina is going to dominate.
He's going to win.
And destroy her. Yeah, I'm about 99. I'm about 95 to 99% certain that Valentina is going to win. Still, casual fans don't know who she is, and Joe Rogan is just a commentator. He doesn't even, when it comes to the UFC, he only watches really the big names. He watches the big names fight. He doesn't know who Sijara Eubanks is. He didn't watch the Tough finale. He didn't watch Tough. I don't think he. And in his defense, nobody watches Tough anymore. So there's that.
I want to say this to what you just had to say real quick, Brian. You know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, they're, you know, people that have never fought, never blah, blah, blah. They don't have right to talk. Motherfucker, Joanna Jacek and Joe Rogan don't know who Sarge is. And there's a lot of people that are just fans that do. Like, if you're a hardcore fan of the sport, you might know these things. So I'm just saying there's a lot of hardcore fans even. I mean, even hardcore fans. Joe Rogan is for sure a hardcore fan. But there's even a lot of hardcore fans that don't know who Sarge Eubanks is in this fight. And that's not her
There are
fault,
hardcore
right?
fans who have never seen Nico Montano fight at all. There are
Facts.
hardcore fans that have never seen Sajara Eubanks
They
fight
don't watch
at all.
Tough.
Nobody watches Tough anymore. Nobody knows, and nobody really cares. People have seen Valentina fight. Yeah, they've seen her fight. They've seen Amanda Nunes fight. So, yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan only commentates on the pay-per-views now. He doesn't watch those fight
North
night shits
American
anymore.
pay-per-views. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
North
I mean,
American
Joe Rogan is a busy
pay-per-views.
man. He works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on the UFC.com, I mean, maybe it's our last hope. It's not officially announced Shevchenko versus Eubanks main event.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's got
crazy?
blackface.
See, that's the thing. They're making this fight, and now Dana White, because, and you know what? This might be also because of the backlash that this fight is getting. The backlash is so terrible, so obscenely bad, that you know, Dana White might just reconsider and make the Nate Diaz-Poirier fight 5 rounds, make the Chris Weidman fight 5 rounds, and have Valentina fight Joanna in December, and just have Sajara Eubanks fight Jessica Eye. I mean, it's not too late. They could just make that decision, say fuck it.
I mean, that would be
I
awesome.
don't know.
I would be very happy. You know,
I'd love
get
that,
announced
but
next week.
if they walk that back, that will be the greatest concession of failure they've ever made.
Yeah, it would be. And it because the fans made it happen. I mean, the backlash is crazy. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch, you know, Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that, but
I think as a kid,
you know, this is the type of backlash. Like, this is like fanboy nerd backlash, like of what you see with Star Wars, Star Trek, or the Marvel MCU. Like, whenever there's a decision that's made by a certain studio of a particular property in television or movies, I guess this type of backlash. There's always a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that try to change things and reconsider and say, you know, maybe this wasn't a good idea because we're not making the type of money that we should be making because we're pissing off the fans here, you know. And this is what's going on in the UFC. It's really that type of reaction that you kind of see, you know. And now they're just reconsidering because it's why this fight? Why is this fight? Why make this the main event for MSG? It makes no sense.
Zero.
From Madison Square Garden, especially when you look at with the first card, UFC 205, that card was a stacked card, and all the fights happened. Almost all the fights that were signed, they all happened. It was a fantastic card, fantastic fights. And then the very next year for GSP, Michael Bisping, that was UFC 217. Great fight, great card. All the contenders became world champions. It was crazy. No one had ever seen shit like that. So this is a humongous step down in comparison to those first 2 cards that were done at Madison Square Garden. So they gotta change their shit.
And by the way, we still haven't heard how Nate Diaz feels about being co-main event to Sarge Eubanks. He's already threatened to pull out of this fight twice. What the fuck if Nate Diaz pulls out of this fight because this happened? Yeah, like then we have Sarge Eubanks with no co-main event versus Valentina, and it's like, whoa. And to what you said about this making no sense, the UFC just didn't want Valentina versus Nico to headline 228, and that's not even Madison Square Garden. They were scrambling for a main event there. Got Woodley versus 2. So
right, that doesn't make any sense. This is the thing that doesn't make any sense. So you're saying, so the UFC is basically saying that the Valentina Nico fight wasn't worthy of being a pay-per-view event in Dallas, even though a lot of people there in Dallas wanted to see the fight, you know.
And even though Brian's gone again, even though one of those fighters was an actual champion, an actual belt holder, it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So now on a bigger card, Valentina fighting someone that doesn't even have a belt is somehow main event worthy.
And has weight cutting issues. And over Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, but in the sense of it being the main event, it's over everybody. Like it's over fucking everyone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's nuts to me. And because it's the way that it's the ineptitude of the UFC in regard to being able to take the temperature on this, because the amount of questions the media fielded towards Dana and everyone else to be like, so do we have a main event for 2:30? MSG is coming up. Have you guys going to announce anything yet? The speculation everywhere in MMA land was enormous. They're throwing around names like Romero, like Costa. They want to know about Jones. They want to know about Cormier. They want to know about Stipe. They want to know about Velasquez. There are so many names being thrown about. And obviously those names are being thrown about because people want to see those motherfuckers. So all of those, all of those names, whether discussed by the UFC or not, are definitely things that people want to see. If all of those names are not an option for reasons that we are never ever going to know about, okay, fine. But that instead of all of those, really?
Right. And I just, there was a lot of missteps and missed opportunities in terms of the matchmaking that has been done in the second half of 2018. There's just a lot of things that have kind of fallen to the wayside. I mean, the fact that you even have Conor and Khabib fighting in October instead of MSG is shocking to me. I mean, I never understood that. But, you know.
No, that was a money thing. That was purely a money thing.
Yeah, that had been a money thing. Yeah,
the amount of money that's going to go into that, there has to be in Vegas so they can control it better. That's purely a business decision.
Yes, that's probably it. But there's so many things that they could have done in the matchmaking the second half of this year that that Dana White just decided not to do. Like what? I mean, the first I knew things were going to really fall apart when you had Tyron Woodley fighting Darren Till in September. I'm like, okay, so now that to me was already the beginning of the end for what was going to happen at 2:30. Like that was like the domino effect. I'm like, okay, you're making this happen. I know Woodley is probably going to have an injury. He's not going to be able to fight Colby at MSG. You know, Colby isn't going to fight anybody else at welterweight.
And by the way, Cyborg said she was ready to fight at UFC 228. We could have called up an Invictum Bantamweight. Cyborg called out Idiane Gomez. She called out like 3 different girls. I mean, the UFC used Cyborg to save UFC 222 in the past, right? They brought up Yana Kunitskaya. But, I mean, shit, if we're going to cancel Valentina versus Joanna, Amanda Nunes already turned down UFC 220. How about instead, since that fight's farther away, we just put the brakes, and I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I'm just saying put the brakes on Cyborg versus Nunes for a second. We need a main event. Let's leave Joanna versus Valentina together. Let's leave I versus Eubanks together. Let's get fucking Joanna versus Invicta Bantamweight champion. We've seen it in the past. I mean, Cyborg's a legit name. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like we lost a big fight to get a dud. And I'm not, no disrespect to Sarge Eubanks, but I'm just talking about as a main event of Madison Square Garden, I feel like we got a dud.
Sorry, Joanna versus who?
Yeah, Chris Cyborg said that she could fight in September and New Year's Eve.
Stamina, you were saying Joanna versus who?
Yeah, I didn't pick up on what you were saying.
I was saying Joanna versus Valentina could have still been together if we just had like Cyborg, like you know, Cyborg. We've seen Cyborg get thrown against an Invicta Bantamweight champion. So instead of canceling the Joanna versus Valentina fight, how about we cancel and not even cancel? There's a good chance Cyborg beats up a chick and she's still ready by December, you know, the end of the year. So instead of canceling Valentina versus Joanna, how about we have Cyborg versus some fucking either? You don't even have to be the Invicta Bantamweight champion. Cyborg previously called out Idiane Gomez. She called out Pam Bam Sorensen and whoever else. So how about have Cyborg beat somebody up in the meantime? We don't have to cancel a bigger fight. Yeah. Like Cyborg could win and still be ready.
Cyborg said that. Cyborg said she wanted to fight at 228 in Dallas. And so she could have fought in Dallas and then fight Nunes in New Year's Eve. That's what she wanted. But
and then we wouldn't have had to waste Till. Like, there's so much shit the UFC is doing that doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's like...
and Darren Till got the shit kicked out of him. Honestly, he took a lot of punishment.
He did.
And, you know, and I was telling this to Darren Till fans. I'm like, well, they're like, oh, well, Darren Till's a Muay Thai artist and all this. I'm like, listen, Tyron Woodley does great against strikers. If you are a striker and you're really tall and you have a long arm reach, you know, Tyron Woodley's going to beat the shit out of you because he's so short for welterweight and he has the perfect center of gravity. You know, when he comes at you with that right hand, it's tough to defend against that. and he is a better grappler, better wrestler. He has great stand-up. He has.
Now, I agree with Brian Jensen. He might have just dropped off. I don't know. I just stopped hearing him out of nowhere. But I agree with what he was saying. But this is the thing. I mean, I think hindsight's 20/20. I think a lot of people were giving Till more of a chance. And when you look back, you're like, fuck, Woodley, of course you're going to beat Till's ass. But hindsight's 20/20 on that one. But I'm just saying, Till had a lot of potential as an undefeated. He wasn't guaranteed a title shot. You could have gave him 1 or 2 more fights at welterweight, one more fight, and let him make weight. And I think the fight could have been bigger. He would have still been undefeated. But the UFC was like, oh, we need a main event. We need a main event. We need a main event. Let's get Till in here. What about Cyborg? And maybe they don't want to do that too many times. Like, you can't, every time we need a main
Sorry
event.
about that. I keep falling out of
Cyborg.
this chat. Sorry about that.
It's all good, but every time you need a main event, I get it. Every time you need a main event, you can't call Cyborg. I heard Chael Sonnen make this point that, you know, Mike Tyson, there was a point where he was just beating up everybody, and so people stopped watching the fight because there was no challenges. So you can't just have Cyborg come in 5 times a year and beat up some bantamweight because people will lose interest. But at the same time, if you're desperate...
What I was saying about Woodley, you know, I mean, the Strikeforce days are over for Woodley. I mean, Woodley does great against strikers. So the whole notion that, oh, well, Darren Till's a Muay Thai guy, is like, it's just not that type of party anymore. Tyron Woodley knows how to beat the shit out of strikers. And Chris Cyborg is forced to wait, you know, 6 months, 5 months to fight somebody.
Yeah. Well, Cyborg was ready to fight.
No, but Chris almost made her own bed insofar as just because of how the Evinger fight went and how the Kunitskaya fight went, it's like, we can't do this again. Like, I think it would have actually harmed Cyborg's brand for her to fight anyone that isn't inherently competitive. It would have been bad for her. Nunes, by that point, everyone's like, you just need to fight Amanda. Fuck this shit. No one else. You're fighting Amanda. Because Amanda can actually fucking fight you. These girls can't handle you. Fight Nunes or stay the fuck home.
And Megan Anderson can't fight her. Megan Anderson...
No way.
Megan Anderson made Holly Holm look like Daniel Cormier.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
You know, and Holly Holm is trash.
She's not trash, but it's ironic that Megan wants to talk about stuff going on in the flyweight division when it was a flyweight that handled the woman that handled her.
Bantamweight. It was a bantamweight. I mean, and you know, Megan Anderson is criticizing Chris Cyborg for fighting bantamweights, but Megan lost to a bantamweight. How's she going to explain that?
Megan lost to a bantamweight that lost to a flyweight.
Right. Yes. Think about that. Valentina, a flyweight. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. That's fucking hilarious because Valentina, a flyweight, dominated Holly Holm better than even Chris Cyborg. Really, I mean, Chris Cyborg clearly dominated Holly Holm, but Valentina didn't even have a bloody nose. She didn't have a mark on her face.
I honestly was low key.
Chris Cyborg had a bloody nose.
When Valentina fought Holly Holm, I was shocked.
Valentina didn't have a mark on her face.
Go FT.
No, go ahead, Arpit.
The thing with Megan Anderson that her team and Megan Anderson underestimate the power of Holly Holm. Holly Holm is actually a big strong girl, and
you mean the strength? You mean the strength of Holly Holm?
Yep, she's a strong girl. Sorry, strong woman, and the Megan Anderson thing that she gonna Megan Anderson was good on the feet, but she didn't realize that Holly Holm gonna take her down, and that's the game changer I think in this game. The main thing she lose to Holly Holm that she didn't accept that Holly Holm that's going to wrestle with her, and that's the thing, that whole thing was messed up for Megan Anderson.
Right.
And right now, Megan Anderson...
Holly Holm is a career welterweight.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Boxing. She fought as high as 154. She was a 18-time world champion. Hold on.
Yeah.
Holly Holm is an 18-time world champion in 3 different weight classes: at lightweight, welterweight. Lightweight in boxing is 135. Welterweight is 147, and 154 is super welterweight or junior middleweight. And Holly Holm won world titles in all 3 of those weight classes. So yeah, she is she's really was a big bantamweight for women's MMA. She was a very big bantamweight, and she was a lot stronger than what Megan. Megan did not even train to do any takedown defense against Holly Holm because she had no idea that Holly had any type of wrestling whatsoever, and her wrestling is trash. But Megan Anderson sucks.
No, Megan the problem sucks. With me. No. Listen. This is a different game, new game, new thing. Problem with Megan Anderson that she have to understand thing that you can't run your mouth until you back it up. And this is MMA. I'm a big fan of her, but when she is wrong, then she is wrong. You can't throw. You cannot throw a name and then you have to know that you're throwing a name and you have to fight with her. I think the problem with Megan Anderson with her that she have to stay active. She taking before Cyborg before Cyborg fight. She before Holly Holm fight. She took 1 year off. Okay, and you come against the woman who is active, who fighting with best like Valentina, like Cyborg. She is more active than Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson have to understand you have to be active in this sport. If you just stay out, training is another thing, and fighting in the octagon is another thing. She have to stay active to know things. 1 or 2. What do you think?
So with that being said, Pit, do you think that Khabib is going to beat McGregor since you have to stay active, right? And you think you got Khabib? I'm taking it.
Yep, Khabib. If Khabib able to take him to 3rd round, this gonna be wrap.
If he can take his punch, that's really
he can take a punch. Don't forget, he take a wheel kick on his head and didn't move.
But I'm talking about if he could take Conor's best shot as far as his left hand, then he could win the fight. You know,
that's the
thing. He can win the fight, but if he can't take that shot, if Conor lands a really good shot and shakes him up and ruins his game plan. It's like what Mike Tyson used to say. Everybody has a game plan until they get hit.
Punch in the face,
that's what Mike Tyson used to say. It's true. Everybody has a game plan until they get hit. If Conor really hurts him bad in the first minute of the first round, then Khabib's game plan is going to go out the window.
Yep. But if Khabib able to stretch him out the 3rd round, he gonna maul him. But I think if McGregor hit him in 1st or 2nd, maybe game changer. But I think Khabib gonna win this match.
Okay. We got Robert in the building. What's going on, Robert? We hear you.
Yo, I've been trying to fix my mic this whole time. Finally, it works.
Clear, good sir. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Okay. So what did I miss?
Well, we've been talking about McGregor and Khabib recently. But also the main event, you know what I'm saying, UFC 230. But what are your thoughts on McGregor and Khabib? We saw the open workouts. We saw both press conferences now. Robert, since you're new to the panel, what are your thoughts on McGregor versus Khabib?
That's a tough one. I think it's going to go to a decision, and Khabib's going to grind him out. There's only 2 ways. It's going to a decision, or McGregor's going to knock him out within 2 rounds. But I don't see the first scenario happening. I think Khabib's going to grind him out. If McGregor wants to win, he has to finish Khabib. He's not going to stop coming forward.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. You have to finish Khabib.
I hear
and plus, Khabib's never been dropped before, so I bet he's got a pretty good chin compared to like some of the guys McGregor has beaten.
Right, but the thing is, if you're going to get hurt and rocked by Michael Johnson, I mean, you can only imagine what Conor could do.
But Michael Johnson's got fast hands though. Like,
I mean, Conor has knocked out guys that have chins. Dustin Poirier has a great chin. Eddie Alvarez has a great chin. Conor destroyed both of them.
Yeah, but all these guys have been finished before, right? Khabib's never been dropped once.
Dustin Poirier had never been finished until he fought Conor. Eddie Alvarez had never been knocked out until he fought Conor. At least I don't think, not to my recollection.
I hear that, but Robert makes a good point as well. Khabib's never been dropped. We did see the Michael Johnson, right? We did see the Rock, right? He might have got rocked a little bit, but he didn't get dropped. He's never been dropped to a knee. He's never been dropped on his ass. He's never been dropped. But like you said, Brian Jensen, there's a first for everything, and McGregor has been the first in the past for other fighters. So that's why this fight is so crazy. Both of these guys are like each other's kryptonite. Who wins?
Yeah. And you know, part of me does hope that Conor wins early. Not because I don't like Khabib. I think Khabib's a great fighter. He's one of my favorites. But it would be great to see Conor win an early knockout and then fight Tony Ferguson a month from now. MSG. That would be the wildest shit. That would be the most wildest circumstances.
I'm telling you, if Tony Ferguson fight with Conor, Conor going to sleep.
Right, but I'm saying
Conor,
if Conor knocks out Khabib.
Did you say Conor's going to sleep or Tony's going to sleep?
Conor.
I don't know about that. Tony gets
quotes I'm talking
Pump the
about.
fucking
There's
brakes.
those armpit quotes I'm talking about.
What the
If
hell?
Tony fights Conor, Conor's going to sleep. Where's
Because-
TJ37 when you
Listen,
need him?
Connor is
I
going
don't
to
see
sleep
Conor
in
getting
his
knocked out
hotel,
by Khabib.
nowhere else.
I see
Fuck
Conor
that.
getting submitted.
I love armpit.
I see Conor getting submitted.
No.
That's hilarious.
What
Do you forget? No. Get Nate Diaz fight. Do you get Nate Diaz fight? That Conor gave him the best shot, and Nate Diaz, when returned the favor, he was rocked. And Tony Ferguson is far good boxer than Nate Diaz, and far good than and he can counter.
I want to go that far. I think Khabib's stand-up is a lot worse than Nate Diaz, and his
100%.
boxing
Yeah.
is a lot worse than Nate Diaz.
100%.
Nate Diaz is a bigger fighter. He has a great chin,
Yes.
and he's more durable. We've never
Yes.
seen
Yep.
we've never
I
seen
actually
Khabib
agree
get
with
hurt.
everything
We've
you're
never
saying.
seen Khabib get rocked. He's never even fought really a top 5 guy in the UFC at lightweight. I mean, Khabib's fought top 10 dudes.
Yep.
But
So I
you know,
think
Khabib
Nate.
could do it, but Khabib could do it.
But
the
what-
funniest, I'm just saying,
Yep.
it would be hilarious if Conor wins early by knockout, and then he fights like 30, and then he fights 30 days later against Tony Ferguson or Anthony Pettis.
That would be so crazy.
It would be the most hilarious.
Yeah. Shit. But
Uh-oh. There they go again.
Armpit fall off.
Ew.
Yeah, and Brian. Robert, talk up.
And Brian. Well, Robert's still here.
Yeah.
His connection lasted. All right. Well, all right. So I mean, that was good thoughts on Khabib versus McGregor, but we have to move on. We have to move on as hard as it is. The fight's so close. We have to talk about Cyborg versus Future Harrison because they are so
Future Harrison?
hold on.
We have to
Have
see-
any of you guys,
we
some
have
of you
to
watch
talk
Dragon Ball
about
Z and you
Chris
know about
Cyborg.
Trunks, right? Future Trunks, like you know what I'm talking about. But
Oh my
Future
God.
Kayla Harrison, you don't understand. I'm not talking about 28. I'm damn sure not talking about 2018 Kayla Harrison. I'm talking about 2020 Kayla Harrison. You motherfuckers, I'm sorry, and this is to I feel like everybody. There's a few people that understand the potential of Kayla Harrison that aren't jealous or biased. What the fuck ever. I feel like Kayla Harrison is almost at fault here for being fucking blonde haired and shit. You know, usually you feel like that's the people that get promoted, but Kayla Harrison, that's working against her. If Kayla Harrison had fucking green, purple, and shit brown hair, it wouldn't fucking take away from her skills. It's got nothing to do with how good Kayla Harrison can be and the fact that she can dethrone one of the best, if not the best pound for pound WMMA fighter on the planet, Cyborg. I love Cyborg. Big fan of Cyborg. I don't think if you put any female, put any transgender, it don't matter. Female, transgender, fucking Cyborg's beating them all in an octagon.
Only old age can beat
Oh my
Cyborg.
God.
Nothing is beating
Talk about it,
fucking
Robert.
Cyborg.
Talk about it.
It's gonna take old age. The only thing that can beat Cyborg, I'll give you two things: old age and 2020 Kayla Harrison. 2020
No, bro.
Kayla Harrison
No.
is almost
No.
better
No.
than old age. I don't want to go there.
No.
2020
No.
you guys don't I'm sorry, you guys don't understand, and you might not until you see her next fight. But what I'll say this: her first fight, 3-4 Brittany Elkins, and this is what people said, and I fucking hate it because motherfuckers ain't standing by it. The first thing they said is, "Oh, Brittany Elkins is 3-4." Brittany Elkins is 3-4. Kayla Harrison, 3-4. And so guess what? Her next, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I need this. Kayla Harrison's next motherfucking opponent was 8-2. Josette, the motherfucking #1 head buster cotton, who had the head movement, had the boxing right. Everyone said Ronda Rousey ain't got no boxing. Head movement, head movement. Okay, I get that, motherfucker, but you don't get the... I can go so fucking hard on this topic. I'm going half speed right now, family. I'm just saying, fucking Kayla Harrison's training with AT&T, not Edmund TNT. I don't even know the fucking name of his gym, and I don't care. Does he have any other fighters that he trains with that have ever been champions or even contenders? Don't give a fuck, because AT&T does. Motherfucking Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jacek, Tyron Woodley, as much as you hate him, Colby Covington. I can go on and on and on about American fucking top team and how good their fighters are and how good their training camp is. And oh, a lot of you motherfuckers that are just hating don't realize Kayla Harrison trained for a full year, 365 days before fighting her first pro fight against Brittany Elkins. And then they said, oh, it's just Brittany Elkins. And then she beat motherfucking Kayla Harrison. And they said, oh yeah, but she couldn't submit Kayla Harrison. Motherfucker, you were talking about Brittany Elkins' record. Hold on. Now we're on Kayla Harrison. Now we're on Josette Cotton. And you motherfucker pumped her up. And you said she can't submit her.
Calm down, calm down.
Hold on. Kayla Harrison couldn't throw no goddamn elbows. She couldn't throw no motherfucking elbows in the PFL. She couldn't throw no fucking elbows, and Josette was done. I like Josette. Okay,
take it.
Kayla Harrison.
Cold drink. Take it, cold drink.
Kayla Harrison, her wrestling, her grappling is great. Her striking can improve, but thing is, man, she's bigger than Chris Cyborg, which is a plus, and she's probably stronger in the clinch, you know. And if they fought at like 155 or something like that, then yeah, she has a shot because Chris Cyborg has never fought at that weight class. But I mean, if she cannot take Cyborg's right hand, her punches, then it's a wrap. And Kayla Harrison, she's too green right now. I don't even think she'll be ready by 2020.
Okay, thank you, Brian Jensen. I'm going to stop you right there because for one, hold on, Brian Jensen, because for one, I wasn't done, and for two, you said right now. I get it. Not right now. I'm talking about future Kayla Harrison. I'm talking about 2020, and I'm talking about in her last fight against motherfucking Josette Cotton. She showed head movement. She showed head kicks. She showed motherfucking body punches. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. She's training with the top team, and we're talking about in 2020, and my nephews and my nieces got school tomorrow, so I'm gonna chill. But motherfucking put some respect on her name, okay? Oh, well, one more thing. Ronda Rousey was a bronze medalist, and she was a champion with 7 title defenses. What the fuck you think a two-time gold medalist is about to motherfucking do? All right, I'm done.
Six times.
Okay. Can I say something?
Kayla Harrison will not be ready by 2020.
Arpit, right after Brian, Arpit.
Harrison will be ready by 2025. By 2025, she'll be ready. And that's when Cyborg is going to be pushing 40, and she's not going to be in her prime. That's when Kayla Harrison could win.
All right, Brian, you're 5 years too late. Arpit, speak.
Listen, new fight, new thing. I'm impressed with her Jose Cotton fight. She show improvement. But the problem with her that in this match, do you watch this match clearly? You can see that she was not able to. She was only able to take her down. She was missing her punches. Jose Cotton moving her head from down. She was missing her punches, and Jose Cotton was hitting him from the ground. The problem with Kayla Harrison, she is rushing. She have to get some credible opponents like Jose Cotton. Then when she wins, then we can talk about Chris Cyborg thing, because Chris Cyborg is a legend in this. We can't compare her right now.
All right, in one saying. I hear what you're saying. Kayla Harrison's too new. Cyborg's a legend. I heard just like I heard with Brian. Motherfucker, what about Tatiana Suarez? Motherfucking wrestling since she was 4. She's ready for motherfucking Rose. She's ready for Andrade. The wrestling is subpar with Tatiana Suarez. Hold on. She's only 8-0, but boy, goddamn, Tatiana Suarez.
No, apples and oranges. FD, stop.
My bad. Let's stamina go, because I might be too hyped. Let's stamina go.
Full time. Are you seriously going to say that Alexa Grasso and Carla Esparza are as good as Chris Cyborg?
What the fuck are you talking
No, they're
about?
not. They're not.
They're
not.
I didn't say nothing about that.
Tatiana Suarez is a very good fighter, but she's mostly beating bums. Let's face it.
Get the fuck out of here. Tatiana Suarez is underrated as fuck. She is not a bum.
Alexa
Grasso
Grasso
is
I agree
not a
with-
bum. Just because
Alexa
Tatiana
Grasso's
Suarez
a
has
bum.
better wrestling than probably every fucking
Alexa
I
WMMA
agree with
fighter.
full time.
Hold on. Tatiana Suarez has
Paula
better
Esparza is really
wrestling than any WMMA fighter pound for pound on the planet. What the fuck are you talking about with Chris Cyborg? This is a whole different conversation, my brother. That is not
Yeah.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
Yep,
fuck all
yep.
of that. Fuck all of that. Like,
None of the women that Tatiana Suarez has dominated are as good as Chris Cyborg.
no.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I didn't say that. Go
No,
ahead.
Tatiana Suarez is something else entirely. Right? On a level, like the issue that I have with your Kayla 2020 campaign is that Kayla Harrison simply isn't or is going to struggle to even fight the level of competition that she needs to become the
Yes.
fighter that she needs to be. Like that PFL
Yeah.
tournament is going to be great to watch, but who the fuck is she going to fight really? Like it's all very
Fight, yes.
her training for a year before her first fight. That's what she's fucking supposed to do. But ultimately, fight IQ, my IQ comes from being in the fucking ring. You can learn whatever the fuck you want in the gym, but you need to be in the ring. Cyborg hasn't lost in 10 fucking years.
Telling you
You
right
know what
now,
I mean?
Stamina. And I respect
No,
you,
no, no,
Stamina,
no.
more than
Correction,
A lot of
correction.
people on this panel, Stamina's got a fucking great brain, a great mind, and all that shit. But my dog, AT&T, who is she gonna fight? I'll tell you one thing. She's fighting Amanda Nunes and Joanna Jacek almost every motherfucking day at American Top Team. And by the way, she's fighting in the PFL. She's not sparring in the PFL. She's fighting Josette Cotton. And by the way, she just got entered in the PFL tournament where she's gonna be fighting, not sparring, legit experience. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this. Who the fuck is Chris Cyborg fighting on the level of Kayla Harrison? Yana Kunitskaya, these 135-pound bantamweights? We're talking about a girl that's hoping she can make it to featherweight. Please, somebody tell me how Kayla Harrison ain't the most threatening opponent to Cyborg's future. I'm not talking about 2018. We talking about 2020. Go ahead.
only threatening to Cyborg insofar as Kayla Harrison has a skill set that Cyborg hasn't had to deal with.
Thank you.
But quite frankly, Kayla Harrison would struggle in 2020 to beat any of the people that Cyborg has beaten.
Who? Megan Anderson?
That's a lie.
Oh, that was
That's a
Holly.
damn lie.
What? Yana Kunitskaya, Tanya Evanger? Oh my God, Stamina, please don't.
What's we saying infamous?
Crazy.
Stamina is right.
No, RP, you and Stamina are absolutely
Yeah, you
insane.
guys are over.
Hold on. If you think
Overrating
Kayla Harrison can't fucking hang with
opponents.
Yana Kunitskaya and Tanya Evanger,
She's been fighting
awesome.
135. Most of her opponents are 135ers that move up. She got taken down her last fight by a striker.
Thank you, Infamous. Hold on. What Infamous?
And she got taken down by Tanya Evanger too. Hold on. Before we get to that point, Before we get to that point, I heard some ludicrous, disgusting claim by fucking Arpit about Tony Ferguson knocking out Conor.
No, he said Khabib
fuck
would
that.
put Conor.
That didn't happen.
We gotta stay on this.
Just kidding.
Fuck that. Forget that. Pretend you never heard that. Don't worry about that.
Tony Ferguson's been like knocked down 8 times. Did you forget his whole career, you fool? Michael Johnson knocked him down. Abel Verheel knocked him down. Kevin Lee knocked him down. Almost finished How dare you say he would knock out Conor? All right, let's get back to the real.
Let him breathe. Get to Kayla Harrison versus... Sorry. Get to Cyborg versus future Kayla Harrison, please.
Oh, come on, man. Of course she has the skills to beat future Chris Cyborg. How do you guys not see that? Chris Cyborg doesn't, she has good takedown defense, but she got clinched up by freaking Holly Holm a lot of times in that fight. How do you think Kayla Harrison wouldn't do that?
Yeah,
Chris Cyborg doesn't have the fleetest of
Chris
feet.
Cyborg is a BJJ black belt.
All right, well, that's a different argument. That's a different argument we're talking about. But let's just talk about.
I'm not talking about that Cyborg. She's not gonna take down Cyborg. Cyborg
got taken down by Yana Kunitskaya. So
Yes,
yes,
yes.
you can.
That was an accident.
And
That was an
Tanya
accident.
Ehlinger.
Don't ever try and say that Yana meant to do that. Yana was
Yana did that out of
panicking.
fear.
She didn't have a balance.
She didn't mean to do that. She didn't even know she did that.
Cyborg
didn't even know she could do that.
Cyborg
did
is
that out of
flat-footed too.
That doesn't
She's
even count.
flat-footed.
It's like 10 seconds.
Megan Anderson will do it.
Megan Anderson will do what?
I don't know, man.
Megan will do what?
You got taken down by Holly Holm, bro.
He's a beast.
Holly Holm is the worst wrestler. Holly Holm is the worst wrestler.
She's a bloody Amazonian.
Holly
I had an off night with Holly Holm. It was just a bad night. She got caught.
Oh my God!
Fuck, this is so brilliant.
Big way.
I mean, who did Cyborg get her black belt from anyway?
I want to climb up on Megan Anderson.
When was the last time she got a submission?
Holly Holm is trash.
When was the last time Cyborg got a submission?
Holly Holm is trash if you took down Megan Anderson.
That's some long legs.
I hear that, but what I'm saying
Dude, Cyborg doesn't have one submission win. Oh my God.
I have to say
No,
this.
she
Hold on.
doesn't.
Stamina, Brian, everybody, give me 1 fucking second. 1 second about Kayla Harrison. Hold on, Brian. Hold on. I gotta say this. If fucking Kayla Harrison can beat every female on the planet that is not named Justino motherfucking Cyborg, is she still a hype job? She's still one of the best WMMA fighters on the planet with her size and her skill set.
She's not a hype job now.
2020?
She's not a hype job now. No, she's
hyping
not.
up Chris Cyborg.
Thank
What
you,
y'all doing?
Stamina. Thank you. She's not a hype job. I need to hear
No,
that.
she's not. No, she's not.
Cyborg has beaten the best. Really?
No, she hasn't.
Yes, she has.
She's beating 135 pounders.
Gina Carano was a pioneer.
In the UFC.
She took steroids that fight.
In
She
the
fought for
UFC.
steroids after that fight. Don't talk about that fight.
And what? No one else has ever fought like her, even with them on steroids. Like, look at Jessica Pinay. She's on steroids. She's on a 5-fight losing streak. Chris
Clearly,
Cyborg
Cyborg knew what she was doing.
I'll say this too. Why do you think people were so excited to see Ronda Rousey versus Chris
I mean, I don't
dominated
put too
her.
much stock into
dominated
Tanya
her.
Emvinger, Luna, whatever her name is.
Beast on the ground.
No,
She dominated her.
don't do that.
Yana Kunitskaya was also a champion.
God.
Like, she dominated her. Who is Megan Anderson beating?
Wait, I don't really.
Anyone brought Megan up?
I wasn't arguing about Megan. No. That was.
Megan should never fight Cyborg. Never.
Who is
They
Kayla
were
Harrison
trolling.
beat? Whoa! Don't get me started. Who is Kayla Harrison beat? Kayla Harrison beat
Nobody.
fucking 8-2 Josette Cotton in her second pro fight. Tell me who Ronda Rousey beat in her second pro fight. Tell me who Conor McGregor beat. Tell me who motherfucking Chris Cyborg beat in her second pro fight. Don't go to Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, but who's Josette Cotton beating?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on.
You have to do
They
a
said Brittany
Wikipedia search.
Elkins' record was
Who is
3-4.
she?
Oh, she's
So who
3
is
and
she?
4.
Who is this 8-2
Fuck
fighter?
that. Hey,
Who is this
Josette was
8-2
8-2.
fighter? Who is this
Legit
8-2
lightweight.
fighter?
Josette is a big
You
girl
have to
with
look it up.
legit
You have to
hands.
look it up.
Bruv,
Wikipedia.
you can't
have to look
do
it
the
up on
numbers thing.
Wikipedia.
You can't do the numbers thing because people weren't trying to hear the numbers when Valentina fucked up Cachoeira. They weren't trying to hear 8 then. You can't do the 8.
No, this
Fuck
is
that.
You could do the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it would be
Priscilla
different
Cachoeira
if
9-0.
Kayla was like fucking
Priscilla
15-2
Cachoeira is
coming
9-0.
into the fight.
She has a better record than Sajara Eubanks and Nico Montano.
It's
Valentina
the-
destroyed her. But all of
it's
a
the-
sudden, she's
it's
a
the
bum
quali-
because Valentina really destroyed her.
Yeah.
And isn't Priscilla, was she a black belt in BJJ too?
I'm gonna tell you guys one thing.
Not the way she fights. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I think she is. She clearly has more experience than Nico and Sajara, and Valentina just washed her. Oh, but because Valentina washed her, all of a sudden she's a real bum. Please. Valentina's beating better fighters than Kayla Harrison. Chris Cyborg has a better record than Kayla Harrison. Chris Cyborg has a better record than the majority of the women that are
I
fighting
agree
right
with
now.
all of that. That changes nothing about 2020 Kayla Harrison. Motherfucking.
I mean, if we're talking about a
It only changed
grappling,
Forrest.
Cyborg has never faced.
That's
so
Cyborg
size.
never faced.
Cyborg has never faced.
You guys
the
can't
grappling
concede to that
size
she
of
might
Kayla
be
Harrison.
a very tough opponent. You guys.
are
100%. 100. 100%.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
But I gotta
okay.
say this. You guys are acting like Kayla Harrison is Ronda Rousey in the sense that she was a bronze medalist. You guys
Two-time Harrison.
There's no
Thank you.
Edmund.
You guys are
Two-time.
acting- This is not
Two-time.
a fucking did you see what a bronze medalist was able to fucking do? Sorry. This is a gold medalist. No, it's not. It's a fucking two-time gold medalist. Sorry, guys, I had to do that. It's a two-time gold medalist at 155 pounds. She's not a bantamweight. I'm sorry, guys. She's not a fucking featherweight. She's got to figure out. She's got to get with Lockhart. She's got to figure some shit out to get to Cyborg's weight. Cyborg, are you sure you want smoke? This is a grappler, sweetie. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't even. I'm glad Infamous joined the panel.
Just a question. Has Cyborg had any drug accusations against her, like for using steroids or anything?
Let's not bring up the drugs again. I mean,
that's your only argument.
I don't give a fuck about steroids. We don't even have to fuck steroids.
Nah, I'm not gonna.
Here, fuck steroids. Cyborg has been fighting bantamweights. It's not her fault, but it's facts. She's been.
It's not her fault, but it's not like she's been fighting.
She's fought a few featherweights too.
She has not been fighting gold medalists from judo.
What, Jermaine Tweet? Jermaine Tweet was one of the biggest featherweights there was, and Chris Cyborg fucking destroyed her.
Who the fuck is Jermaine Tweet? Does she have a bronze medal in fucking
Who is this person?
ping pong? Who the fuck is she?
Grappling. Who cares? That doesn't mean she's good at MMA. Kayla Harrison's not good at MMA.
You're nuts.
She's better than anybody Cyborg.
Brian, I wanted to let it go. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to fucking let this go. I didn't want to keep going. But what the fuck are you talking about? First of all, they said Brittany Elkins was 3-4. I'm going to leave that alone because Jose Cotton was 8-2. Sorry, hold on, because they talked about motherfucking head movement. They talked about Kayla Harrison getting boxed the fuck up. What did she do? She showed head movement. She showed head kicks. She showed motherfucking body punches. She showed leg kicks. She showed a diverse array of striking on top of her grappling. They said, oh, she didn't submit Josette. You motherfuckers are acting like Josette was a white belt. I don't give a fuck what she was. She's an 8-2 MMA fighter. She's got some ground skills.
8-2 against bums before she
fought
fought Kayla Harrison.
I don't give a fuck about
Kayla
that.
Harrison is not going to be
90% of Cyborg's record is bums.
Girl. She's a strong girl.
Both of those comments are harsh. Both of those comments are harsh.
She's not a fucking quitter. She's got heart and all that
Cyborg
shit.
has destroyed champions.
They talk about how Kayla couldn't finish Josette, motherfucker. She couldn't throw elbows.
Who is Kayla Harrison beaten? Nobody. She's not even going to be good 2 years from now.
Who is she beating? No, she's fought 2 goddamn fights, Brian. I love you, but she's only fought twice.
Yeah, she's only fought twice.
We're not talking about judo.
The point that I'm making.
Kayla Harrison is not good at MMA.
Let's damn make this point.
She's already good at MMA.
Chris Cyborg is going to destroy her, most likely. I mean,
if we're talking about, we're talking about 4 years from now.
He's talking 2020.
FT's talking about 2. That's what I'm saying. It's not
2 years.
It's not. It's not. No,
I'm still thinking 2 years. I mean, come on now.
If Cyborg don't start fighting bigger girls in the next 2 years, Kayla's coming for a motherfucking dome.
We're basically talking about 2 years of training because Kayla's competition from now until 2020 isn't really going to give her what she needs to be a fully rounded mixed martial artist.
Kayla Harrison.
Kayla needs to. She can train
Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison. She can train with anybody in American top team that is way bigger and better than.
She got a great camp.
Training. I'm talking about fights. Kayla in 2020 is basically going to be what Tatiana Suarez is right now. She's going to be a very one-sided fighter with other stuff going on as well. That's what Kayla's going to be in 2020. She's going to be good. She's going to be better.
We can start talking about well-rounded. I love Cyborg, but who the fuck is she shooting double legs on?
Cyborg hasn't gotten any submission wins.
Who the fuck is Cyborg coming in here and taking down? When is
she has no submission wins.
Her wrestling pedigree
Chris Cyborg has beaten the best.
She's coming in here and beating bitches up. I get it, but it ain't like Cyborg showing she's the most well-rounded WMMA fighter in the world, like Valentina, who armbarred Juliana Pena, outstruck motherfucking Holly Holm. Cyborg is just beating bitches up on the feet that are smoking.
Look, man, you got to give more credit to someone. Hold up.
She can submit you off your back.
No, I'm not going to give you credit for having a belt. I could buy a black belt, wrap it around my waist, and call myself the best.
Full-time black belt. Let's go.
You have to prove
don't be like that.
You're a black belt.
Don't be like that.
No,
don't be like that.
No, I'm not giving you that just because you're a black belt.
No, I reject the black belt comment too, but you're just appealing to ludicrous.
Like if you get a black belt off a Happy Meal, does that make you the best BJJ specialist? No. You got to prove that in the freaking octagon.
Why the comedy? Why?
but it's always.
I gotta let it be known.
Sometimes comedy is facts. I agree with you, Stamina, but sometimes comedy is
Apply
facts.
water to the burn.
Not the black belt. You can go buy a fucking UFC belt for fucking $39.99.
Jet flag.
Thank you for the $2 in the super chat. Great Daniel Cormier. He said Cyborg is the women to go. Infamous, suck it, you hoe. No, listen, DC greatest.
Bitch, suck this. Nigga, you sucking. Who the fuck said that? The greatest Daniel Cormier.
Cyborg is
fuck
the
you,
greatest.
man.
Right now, Cyborg's the greatest. 2019, Cyborg's got it, but 2020, you motherfuckers got something coming. I don't know if it's in January. I don't know if it's in June. I don't know if it's in December. But by motherfucking December, I will put my motherfucking farm on it because I ain't got one. I will put it. The Kayla Harrison is coming, and she will potentially. I'll tell you this, too. If Kayla Harrison can't dethrone Cyborg, then motherfucking nobody can. It will be nobody. But it will be Cyborg.
Dude, I'm not even making that argument.
Yeah,
People are coming
true.
at me. I'm just saying she would give her a good fight, and everybody's like, "Oh, shit."
No. I've got no problem with that.
No, Infamous, you're on the right side of his.
No,
man.
that statement. 100.
It's not even going to give her a good fight.
100. No. That's
crazy,
no,
dude.
Brian. No, I can't. No, Brian, I can't co-sign that. I can't co-sign that. It, like, as was said before, that Kayla brings to the table. No one else has got that for Chris. No one else has got that.
Hold on, I want to talk to Brian for a second.
I'm more excited by the prospect of future Kayla than pretty much anyone else that's above bantamweight. She has the potential to be amazing. Whether she gets there or not, we don't know. But I'm excited for what she is to become. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, with you saying that, Stamina, I want to say one last thing.
Go.
I don't agree with Kayla Harrison using Cyborg's name in every fucking interview. You know what I'm saying? She's
got no choice. They'll ask her if she doesn't say it.
Okay, well, I hear that, but it's like, at the same time, I kind of hear where, like, Coach or somebody would be coming from, where they're like, you using, because, and it's not Kayla Harrison's fault, but so many girls have did that in the past. They've called out Cyborg and said her name, and ultimately they don't end up fighting her. So,
thank you for getting it out in time.
I don't want to, what the fuck, I don't know what he just said, but, it sounds like some troll shit. But I was going to say, a lot of girls do use Cyborg's name to build their career. I don't think Kayla Harrison is one of those girls. So if she has to say her name, okay, but I don't like the fact that so many people have did that and then not took the fight, because it kind of makes Kayla look bad.
What do you mean?
As far as, you know how there's like Megan Anderson and so many girls that, I want to fight Cyborg. I can be Cyborg, fight a legit featherweight Cyborg. And then when it's their turn, they turn the fight down. So Kayla Harrison.
That's going to happen to Kayla Harrison, too. If Cyborg comes to see her, Kayla Harrison. I think
in 2020, Kayla's not going to say no.
Yeah, Kayla Harrison's going to look shook. She's going to be very shook.
Yo, you don't respect her athletic background?
I agree.
No.
Her stand-up sucks. Her stand-up sucks.
Dude,
and not only that, Chris Cyborg has a lot.
It does, but it won't always suck.
What do you think is going to happen if Kayla Harrison takes her down against top position? What's going to happen?
She going to hold it down?
A lot of shit off of her back. There's nothing that Kayla Harrison's going to do to surprise her.
She might get her first submission against Kayla Harrison. Is that what you're saying?
She'll at least get out from bottom. That's for sure. She'll at least roll out of there. She can either get a submission off her back or she'll roll out of there.
She could. I mean,
she trains in jiu-jitsu all day, every week, and she does boxing. She does boxing as a hobby.
Like I said, I'm not gonna give her that.
Boxing is her hobby. Boxing is her hobby. She trains jiu-jitsu during training. She trains everything in MMA.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. I mean, it's not.
Oh, we got sarcasm now, huh?
I love a fighter that trains.
I mean, I'm sure everybody trains at jiu-jitsu.
Fucking unicorns. Jesus.
You guys don't understand. When she's training, she's training.
She's training.
She's definitely training.
Nobody trains jiu-jitsu like Cyborg with her 0 submissions, man.
It's not like, sorry guys, 1 second. It's not like Kayla Harrison didn't fucking train to become the two-time gold medalist. It's not like Kayla Harrison didn't look at Ronda Rousey every fucking day like, I see you, but I motherfucking raise you a gold medal. It's not like Kayla Harrison didn't train.
Dude, let me add to that full time.
It's not not like Kayla Harrison didn't train a whole year before her MMA debut. It's not like after her MMA debut, which she won via armbar, she didn't come out and show her head movement and her diverse array of striking before ultimately taking Josette Cotton down and controlling her on the ground. Sorry, sweetie, you can't get up because this is my motherfucking mat. It's not like Kayla Harrison don't train either.
Dude, and like Kayla Harrison, she's a 2-time gold medalist in the Olympics, but she's also a fucking 12-time world champion in judo as well. Like you guys, like that's nothing to laugh about. Like that's amazing. Those are credentials. Those aren't like, you know, I train hard in jiu-jitsu.
That's not MMA. That's not MMA still.
Yeah, but that's
like one part.
Of course, but like you have to respect if someone's obviously some. MMA. If we've seen plenty of good athletes come to MMA and do very well, especially now that more women prospects that are actually training from younger ages are doing it. They're going to be better than the women who are just doing it like out of nowhere when they were 25, 26, 27 years old, just getting into MMA right now. And having a background is a very good advantage, especially. Like, you have to understand it. People for the Olympics, they train from when they were very young. Like, she has skills that in certain aspects of grappling that Cyborg won't ever have.
One other thing, I gotta say this.
Even though Cyborg has been training in grappling,
Cyborg, it's not like even a Kevin Lee, right? Kevin Lee uses his striking to set up his takedowns, to set up his jiu-jitsu. Cyborg uses her striking to beat bitches down. If Cyborg was coming out here and taking girls down and submitting them after outstriking them and showing she's the most well-rounded fighter on the planet every fight, we might be having a different conversation. But like Infamous has pointed out, like, how many girls has she submitted? None. 1, 0. Okay, so this is just a different threat. And by the way, she's a bigger girl. Cyborg has been fighting fucking toddlers, not toddlers, but bantamweights. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, but Cyborg has also been training in grappling and jiu-jitsu since she was a little girl as well. So she's
that's not going to make you better than.
She's been doing a lot of things that women are just now starting to catch up on.
Yeah, but
5-10 years.
Training and achieving like recognized standards of excellence, i.e., championships, that's slightly different shit. Like,
well, being a black belt in BJJ is a big accomplishment. Still is.
I'm not giving her that.
That's still a big
I've seen a lot of
that
big
is,
black belts
in
MMA.
That is the primary martial art you really need in MMA when it comes to grappling. Wrestling is great, but in BJJ, in jiu-jitsu, you could get all types of submissions off your back. Wrestlers are all about top position. In jiu-jitsu, you can get all types of submissions off your back.
Did you say this, Michael Chiesa?
No. I just asked.
I mean, like, there's black belts, and then there's Brian Ortega, someone who you see put some crazy type of grappling. Like, you see it. Like, you see the very high level jiu-jitsu that you haven't seen before. Like, come on, guys.
No, I agree. Brian Jenkins dropped off, but
like, yo, these Cyborg fans, man, they are some diehard fans, man. I'm telling you. I didn't even say that Kayla Harrison would beat Cyborg, but holy shit, well, they going crazy on me.
Hello, like John Jones fans. John Jones can fucking hit a pregnant, like do a hit and run, pregnant chick, do cocaine, fail 2 steroid tests, snitch. Like, John Jones is free, innocent, free the goat. It's kind of...
Yeah, the amount of privileges that John Jones gets is shocking, man.
Yeah, it is.
Shocking. I mean, he is the most privileged athlete in the UFC. If he wasn't fucking up his life so much, I mean, this dude would be doing what Conor is doing right now.
It's throwing dolphins at a bus.
Dutch style Black Cloud says
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Legit black belt. Brian's on another level, and I got to bring that comment up because I wasn't dissing Michael Chiesa. I was saying, isn't he a black belt because he just got fucking triangle armbarred in this last fight. So even if Cyborg is a black belt, does not mean that the two-time.
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. I mean,
cannot fucking a black belt don't mean you can't get submitted.
There's black belts, then there's black belts. Like, getting a black belt doesn't make you automatically like it doesn't make you, you know, as good as every other black belt. It doesn't like make you amazing. It
doesn't make you the greatest at that. Yeah, there are other black belts that are just as great.
It's basically, you know, experience. You're very good fundamentally, and you could get a black belt. No, that's not true. But when you reach a certain level, they'll give you a black belt, and then from there, that's when things could get a lot different. Like you can have two black belts go out to each other, and one black belt's on a completely different level than another black belt.
I hear that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear you. Cyborg is well rounded, but I'm just like,
yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna say that she's.
Our business, yeah, can he get a link? Yeah, we'll get a link. But the last thing we're gonna talk about, and we can finish up talking about this, is also the Eubanks versus Shevchenko main event, and the Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier co-main event, because I feel like that's actually the main event. But do any of you guys have any thoughts like that stand out, like that you really want to get across about Shevchenko versus Eubanks being the main event of UFC 230?
Thought it was going to be John Jones.
Yeah, right. Like I've made this analogy. You guys have probably heard it by now. I feel like we were playing Wheel of Fortune and we fucking had the puzzle solved, and then we hit bankrupt. Like, ew. Like,
dude, what the fuck was John Jones thinking? Not being prepared for that UFC 230 fight.
I'll tell you this, Infamous. Think about this. Like, what the? I agree with you. What the fuck was John? Bro, you didn't snitch for nothing. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit. You didn't snitch for nothing, bro. You got 15 fucking months. Right before Madison Square Garden. You're from New York, and you're going to leave New York with fucking Shevchenko versus Eubanks. If I was New York, I would be burning my fucking John Jones jerseys right now if I went to that high school. I'm just saying, what the fuck, dog?
He's on another steroid cycle.
This is the only thing that can explain
he needs to get more
John Jones don't want no smoke with Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson gave him his hardest fight in the past. You remember how John Jones looked when he came back against OSP. You can't look like that against Gustafsson. So he's stalling. Pay-per-view points. He's stalling. He don't want to fight Gustafsson. And now we're left with Eubanks Shevchenko. So as much as people want to put the blame on anybody, we also got to look at this motherfucker that's already been doing everything else under the sun.
They should put some silicone into that main card so it won't be a flop.
Oh dear.
It's crazy how John Jones gets all these privileges, but yeah, he doesn't want to fight Gustafsson. Gustafsson was his toughest fight. I mean, John Jones dominated Cormier in their first fight, and you could put an asterisk on that because he was probably on steroids his whole career. But you know, he looked worse against Gustafsson than he did against Cormier.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he looked. I mean, Gustafsson.
You could give him the last 2 rounds of that fight, but you could probably get Gustafsson the first 3.
Yeah, definitely could.
So,
I'm definitely interested to see how John Jones looks in this fight with Gus.
Yeah, I would see how this is going to go, but the Valentina Eubanks fight, that's a one-sided fight. Valentina's going to destroy Eubanks.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Eubanks.
I mean, like, Eubanks is great on the ground. She's also a BJJ black belt, but that's about it. Her striking and stand-up is shit.
Infamous.
And Valentina has already dominated black belts in BJJ. She's dominated everybody on the ground. She's beaten almost everybody on the feet except for Amanda Nunes. Only Amanda Nunes has beaten her, and Amanda Nunes barely won those fights. She barely won those fights.
I didn't think Amanda won the second one. I really, till this day, I don't think she won it. But
I thought Nunes edged it, but you could give it to Valentina. She barely won it. She barely. I mean, that when it's a split decision, you know that was not a clear victory. If it's a split decision like that, you know. Yeah. But I thought the judges saw a close fight, so I didn't have a problem with their decision. But it was a very close fight. But that's the thing. Valentina fought the bigger, stronger, more powerful, and better BJJ expert than Amanda Nunes. She survived the first fight. A lot of people forget about this. Amanda Nunes is also a BJJ black belt. She dominated Valentina in the second round of their first fight. She took her back, got the choke in, and Valentina defended and switched and got top position. What the fuck is Sijara Eubanks going to do? I mean, if you've seen Sijara Eubanks fight, it's like it's not even close to Nunes. So what's she going to do against Valentina? I mean, Sijara Eubanks dominated Maya Stevenson. Maya Stevenson sucks. Deanna Bennett sucks. Roxanne Modafferi is not a great fighter. She's good, but I mean, come on, her stand-up is shit. And Lauren Murphy sucks too. She's beating nobody on Valentina's level.
No, I agree with all of that. 100.
Thanks for that breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, Sijara Eubanks is what? She's 4-0. She's on a 4-fight winning streak in flyweight. And at least 3 of them are complete shitty fighters.
I've got one question, and I don't know if anyone on the panel can answer it. This might just be a fucking question for the UFC, a blunder, if you will. They're talking about Caitlin Chukagian being a backup for this fight.
She should, and she sucks too.
Hold on. Why not put her in the fight instead of Sarge, who already had a fight?
Yo, is there anybody that's good at 125? Yeah, because you said everybody sucks.
None of them are good, bro. I'm serious.
None of them are good.
None of them are good.
Stamina told you guys. Y'all don't get to know Brian,
I'll be
man.
honest
He's
with
a
you.
G.
In the top 15, the only good fighter is a fighter that's not even in the top 15 is Antonina Shevchenko. She's the only good one.
I think there's other good girls. I mean, you know, there's a girl that actually.
And you got Joanna. Joanna's still fighting that division.
Liz Carmouche up there. Like, you do have some decent girls at the very top of 125. Liz Carmouche is okay.
Liz Carmouche is okay.
But this is the problem, right? Joanna's decent, but it doesn't matter how good any of these girls are. No one's gonna beat fucking Valentina.
No, I don't think anybody in the top 10 could beat Joanna on the feet except for Antonina and Valentina. That's it.
But and then take it a step farther to Valentina. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are as a female flyweight. It doesn't matter how good you are as a strawweight, a bantamweight. Going down to 125, you're not going to beat Valentina. I just feel like Valentina Shevchenko is the best fighter on the planet at 125 pounds. And it doesn't matter how good you are at any fucking skill. I just feel like Valentina Shevchenko is the best 125-pound fighter on the planet. And maybe that's a problem.
Has a crazy
but I'll ask
she
you this,
grappled, what's her name?
If
who did Shevchenko grapple if you wouldn't expect?
Best? Who would you rather see, Brian Jensen, Chookagian or Eubanks in the main event of Madison Square Garden?
Eubanks. I think Eubanks. I think Eubanks is better on the feet than what's her name, Caitlin Kuchagian, whatever.
Yeah, she's 11-1. But you think Sarge is better on the feet?
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin, her striking is terrible. Like, she's not in range to hit anything, but she's out of range to avoid strikes. But then she's not in range to hit anything. She's worse than Holly Holm. Like, she's the worst striker. She's the worst striker at flyweight. She's the worst striker in women's MMA by the simple fact she doesn't land anything, and her control of range and distance is the worst in women's MMA next to Holly Holm. So I don't want to see Caitlin.
Wait, you think Holly Holm is trash?
I don't want to see Caitlin fight Valentina, where Valentina is always going to be in range to beat the shit out of this woman, and she's going to be taking her down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Shevchenko's going to be like Demetrius Johnson in this division.
Digital intervention.
Yeah. They said, somebody get this. Whoever's listening from YouTube said, get this guy the fuck out of here. No, that's funny.
Fuck it.
Yeah, but
he's right though. That's the thing. He's actually right.
I did like what he had to say. Like his opinion.
Yo, but wasn't he saying that Holly Holm is trash? Like,
no. Just Holly is guilty of air punching quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. I got you.
Air punching. It's terrible.
So bad.
At least Sajara Eubanks knows how to avoid strikes.
And to connect.
She knows how to connect with strikes. Like, you saw her fight against Deanna Bennett. Like, Deanna Bennett's not a good fighter, but you saw that head kick. It was beautiful.
Oh, that was so
a beautiful,
wow,
perfectly head kick that hit her right on her temple, right on the side of her head. And Deanna Bennett was out. She was out cold. And see, Sajara Eubanks, she knows how to land strikes to get in range to land strikes, and she could avoid strikes. The thing is that she's fought bums, so she hasn't fought anybody good to really show how good her defense is. And the problem with Sajara is that she keeps her head on the center line a lot. And that's the problem. That's a pinpoint. That's an easy target for Valentina. But Caitlin is even worse because she does a lot of air striking. She hits nothing, and her head movement is shit. I mean, either one of these fights are going to be a slaughter as the main event for Madison Square Garden. It's not a main event. It's a co-main event, or it's a free fight on Fox, Channel 5.
And
it's a Channel 5
you guys
fight.
This, man, because I feel like, rightfully so, this doesn't feel like a main event of Madison Square Garden. But
it's a Channel 5 fight.
If they just switched DIAZ versus Poirier to the main event,
and
had Valentina versus Eubanks as the co-main event, would anybody give a shit?
Nobody.
No.
Nobody would care.
I don't know. Diaz isn't relevant without McGregor, I feel like, these days at least.
I think Diaz does have a good fan base, to be honest.
I think he's got a solid name now. Like, if he would have just lost to McGregor, I agree. But the fact that he beat McGregor, I think he got quite a bit of rub from that.
Yeah, Nate, and plus the biggest pay-per-view fights were Conor and Nate in the UFC. I'm not including the McGregor-Mayweather fight. That was boxing, and it was a circus. That doesn't really count. If we're talking about just the UFC pay-per-view, Conor's biggest fights were against Nate Diaz. So
David Hayes says Khabib didn't weight check the news. Are you fucking retarded?
It's not even. I don't believe
the
that.
weight
That's
cut
true,
doesn't even started, dude.
Stop
Like we're not that like dog. Come on, what are you talking about?
Dude, I hope they. I remember in one
like
in one UFC fight they did like same day weigh-ins and we got to see how much the fighters weighed. I hope they do that again. Like they only did it like once. Like we can see what they weigh on the same day.
Random question here.
I would be so happy if Khabib doesn't make weight. I want
Why?
Tony Ferguson.
I don't care if
I
he
want
doesn't
Tony
make weight. It
Ferguson to
doesn't
fight
change
Conor
anything.
so badly.
He still
Yeah,
fights.
come on, man. He has to fight Conor though.
Even if
I know, but
Khabib
if
misses
it's
weight
weight-
by 5 pounds, he still fights.
I
Oh,
know,
that's
but
crazy.
if he doesn't, if he just goes to the hospital, I want Tony Ferguson to fight.
Okay,
Conor so
now
bad.
if he goes to the hospital,
Okay.
yeah, Ferguson can step in. But
Because
wait,
Khabib
wait,
made
where's
that mistake the
Where's
first time.
Armpit?
Because Khabib, hold on, guys, Khabib made that mistake the first time against Tony Ferguson, where he and his
The
camp went to the
tiramisu,
hospital.
right?
Because Khabib still could have fought Tony Ferguson if they'd have called the UFC doctor, and if he had gotten down at least under 160 pounds, he could have fought Tony Ferguson at a catch weight. That fight still could have happened, but
No, that's
Khabib
true.
fucked up. But Khabib fucked up, and his team fucked up by calling 911 and going to the hospital instead of calling the UFC first. If they'd have called the UFC first, the fight still could have happened. And if they make that same mistake again, he's off the card, and Tony Ferguson fights Conor.
No, that is true, and that's why I said where's Armpit, because he actually said he thinks Tony Ferguson has what it takes to knock out Conor McGregor. But
I would.
I think
If
he
he
was talking
comes
about
with that
Khabib.
nonsense.
Robert, I think Robert, or was it Exist? One of you guys had a question.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you guys ever see Tony and Khabib fighting in the future? Like, is that ever going to happen?
There's a possibility. If Ferguson wins and
feel like-
Khabib
yeah, go ahead.
wins, I think it's a possibility. Go ahead, Infamous.
If they try for a
Khabib
fifth
is-
time and it doesn't work out, I think they should just give up for good.
Ever. I agree.
Well, I mean,
It's
I think
just-
Khabib is pretty close to retiring. 2 fights
I
is
was so
max.
excited for that fight multiple times and let down.
I agree. Like, it's almost hard to even get excited for it because I want to see it so bad, but it hasn't happened 4 times. It's like, I don't like. You
Dude,
know
if
the
Khabib
saying,
loses, he might retire.
if he wins,
Nah,
he
Khabib's
might
not going to retire. He doesn't
No,
want to
dude,
retire.
dude, they've been talking about him
His
retiring for a
teammate
long
Josh
time.
Thompson is saying if he wins, he might retire. He wants
got
to
2 fights
retire
left
the
in him.
greatest ever. He said if
He
he
wants
beats
retire
McGregor,
undefeated.
if he beats McGregor and he said the only way he fights again is probably if he fights GSP, and if he fights GSP, then he might retire after GSP. So he wants to retire undefeated. So win or lose, Khabib could be out of here soon. I don't know how.
Do you really think Khabib wants to risk fighting Woodley or like what, or GSP or
Ferguson, Kevin Lee,
Kevin Lee
that don't get talked about enough. Kevin Lee's been calling Khabib out for a long time.
No, I
Brian
think
Ortega, Brian Ortega versus Khabib.
I like that.
or that would be a fun fight right there.
I love that.
Oh,
Ortega versus
Next
Khabib.
week, moving the pants.
And Ortega's game, he's up for it.
He offered.
Yeah,
he
Brian
offered.
Ortega's a beast.
He's up for
Brian
it.
Ortega's
I
a
love
beast.
that.
Ortega
You know,
versus
But
Khabib.
I don't think Khabib's
lit.
going to retire until he wins like another belt.
Gotta get past Max.
65.
I don't know, man. Khabib's been fighting since he was basically since he was fucking born. Like, you gotta understand, this guy's been fighting since he was 4 years old, and like,
Yeah, I know. He was wrestling bears when he was 5.
yeah, I mean, you get tired of this shit after a little while.
I'm
Man.
saying I don't think Khabib I think wants to get a 165-pound belt because he struggles to make 155. I think 165 would be ideal for him. And if he fights, if
He
GSP,
said that
hold on,
he needed to go to
GSP
145 before.
GSP wants to fight at 165 as well. He wants to fight for that belt. So that would be big.
Is that even real?
I mean,
Is there a big
there's been
tease,
enough
the
rumors.
165?
There's been enough
Yeah,
rumors
Dana White's
circulating.
pretty firm.
There's been
on
enough
it.
rumors
I
circulating
haven't-
about
I've
that.
been hearing that GSP doesn't want that fight. So
What,
I
GSP
don't know,
fight Khabib?
man, about
yeah, that's what they've been
GSP.
saying. Like,
He
I
wants
thought
a
GSP
third
wanted to
belt.
fight either Khabib or Conor. Didn't he say
that's what
wanted
he
to fight the winner?
said. That's what he said. But people on the inside, like that know him and stuff, they were talking about probably Conor if he wins, but Khabib, nah.
Yeah, GSP is very sticky.
Yeah, I know, man.
for
I don't
good
like
reason.
this.
Bro,
This
I'm
is
checking
third part
the
of his
hospital.
career, man.
I'm
And for-
sorry,
and for
man.
good
I feel
reason.
Like
I
a
mean, look,
troll got me.
GSP
He told me Khabib's in the hospital. Check the news, and I feel like I'm getting fucking trolled.
No, you are. Don't do
Full
it.
time. You good, bro?
Sorry,
Pump the
guys.
brakes.
No, he's not good. He's drinking too much whiskey.
Yeah.
No, I've drank some proper
He drank
12,
that half
but
that
this
bottle. He
motherfucker
drank
like
half that
literally
bottle.
said it
I
like
just came
5
from the
times.
hospital.
Dude, you guys talking about Kayla Harrison got him emotional. Look what she does, dude.
No, please don't do that. Don't bring.
Don't do that again, please.
Yeah, no. Note to self, definitely.
Okay.
Hold on,
Yeah,
but,
I seen my boy Jorge. Thank you, Jorge, for timing that motherfucker out. He's
but
tripping.
Diaz,
I seen he said it like, why say that 10 different times on some random stream at like 2 in the morning? What are you doing? Stop with the Khabib fake news. Solely, yeah. Okay, guys. So continue. My bad. I was.
Oh,
gonna,
he dropped out again.
Oh, everyone dropped out. Okay, well, I was
No,
say
just Brian.
Oh, just Brian. He'll be back soon. I was gonna say this. I want to fucking and this is gonna be my last shot of Proper 12, right?
Are you, oh my God, you're still. No wonder you're fucked up. Jesus.
I'm not fucked up.
So you don't have work tomorrow?
I'm not fucked up. Look, I'll show you the bottle. Look, I opened it tonight. I still got a little bit for tomorrow, right? Or for Saturday. But one more, right? And I wish I had a slide bottle, right? Like McGregor. I got a slide bottle. I thought they weren't going to let me in with my big bottle, so I brought a slide bottle. I need a slide bottle. But what I was going to say is, enough of this Khabib versus fucking Bears, right? I'm sorry. I'll be the first. Enough of Khabib wrestling bears when he was 4. I get it. He did wrestle a bear. But I haven't seen enough footage. I haven't seen Khabib sparring a bear. I've only seen one fucking video of Khabib ever as a kid with the bear. It's not like every fucking Wednesday Khabib went out and got the best of a bear. I get it. He wrestles with bears. I've only seen one fucking video.
Seriously, the bear thing.
I know it's a little trolly, but
this is how you
Khabib's never lost a round. He wrestles with bears, but I've only seen one angle, one video. Can we see more rounds with the bear?
I mean, come on. Khabib was a kid. Listen, Khabib was a kid wrestling a baby bear. That doesn't count.
Dude, did that bear even have, like, did they pull out that bear's teeth? Like, what did they do that
was
bear?
it declawed? Like, yeah, what was... By the way, who said that? I think McGregor said that. Like, who lets their son wrestle with a fucking bear?
Oh, his father.
It was CGI, man. It was CGI.
he said, who lets their son wrestle with a bear? Like, my father wouldn't let me do that. I was like, oh, touche.
Kazakhstan.
From what, the mid-90s? And that took place.
I don't know. One last shot and I'm done, guys. All right. Yeah, let's get. So yeah, we're still talking about UFC 230.
I think GSP.
I want to ask this to anyone on the panel. Do you think that Diaz? We've already seen him threaten it twice. Do you think Diaz will really co-main event to Sarge Eubanks? Please. Do you think he really? I really feel like he might pull out. I hope not.
Nah, I don't think so. He's training. He wants to fight.
Nate Diaz.
Yeah, Nate. He already threatened to pull out when they announced him.
No, Nate Diaz. He's just doing that shit for kicks. He's ready to fight. Have you seen pictures of him training?
He's in shape.
He does.
He looks crazy in shape.
He's in serious shape. He is training hard, and I think if the best of Nate Diaz is going to fuck up Dustin Poirier.
He very well could, man.
It's an interesting fight.
He wants that
crazy, right? Because Dustin Poirier's got so much momentum. Dustin Poirier's got so much momentum coming into this fight, being the active fighter that's been beating the highest level guys in the world. But, and I know MMA math does not work, but I will just say this. It does stand out that 2 of the guys that beat Dustin Poirier are Michael Johnson and Conor McGregor. And Nate beat both of them. And I know that's not how MMA math works, but goddamn, I feel like even though Nate Diaz, like Conor McGregor, has been active for like 2 fucking years, I agree. Don't count Nate out. He could come in and fucking... I thought Michael Johnson had a good chance. I feel like Nate Diaz embarrassed Michael Johnson.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
definitely. You guys gotta remember too. Dustin wrestled Pettis, so he does have that in his back pocket if he wants to pull a takedown.
Yeah, but Dustin doesn't do well fighting on the back foot, and I think Nate will back him up.
No, I think Nate will. I want to say easily, but he'll definitely outbox.
Wasn't he on a boat in Cabo and then he choked McGregor out? I'm sure 2 years won't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Nate was dealing with a lot of injuries. He had to get knee surgery, and he had to. I mean, his face was fucked up after that Conor rematch, so he needed to do a lot of healing. You know, I mean, he needed to recover. And he had some lawsuits too, I think, because he was getting a lot of street fights. There's so much footage of him fighting people randomly. It's like all this footage of Nate getting the street fights. It's like the craziest shit. He and his brother.
Didn't he beat Clay Guida?
Oh,
he lost to Clay Guida. Oh, what are you talking about in street fight?
Yeah, like he was fighting a fan a few months ago where he stalked and slapped some dude in the audience because some guy was talking shit to him.
Yeah, he was in a couple of fucking audience
brawls. Nate Diaz claims that he slapped Khabib back in the day. Well, there's no footage of it, but that's what he says.
Okay. I believe him.
I believe him.
I believe him too.
I mean, I would like to see some proof, but
they
I
asked
believe
Nate Diaz like what he thinks about.
Khabib took a page from Nate and slapped the goat Artem. That was a Stockton slap he gave him.
that was a Stockton tap.
I remember what Nate did to me. What he did to Artem. No.
Isn't it crazy? Like this Khabib Conor fight would never happen if that little tap behind Artem's head never happened. Like that one moment caused all this shit to happen.
Conor's a terrorist.
That's the defining moment of Artemov's entire existence.
Oh my
that was the reason why he was born, to be slapped in the back of the fucking head. That's the best thing he'll ever do on earth.
I know, because he made this fight happen.
That's crazy, because Conor would have fought RDA for an interim 170-pound title had that not happened. They revealed that already.
I mean, it was
almost
like...
Wait, what?
Go ahead.
It said Conor had a deal already done to fight RDA for interim 170-pound title.
Yeah, they said that's why he was actually in there.
So, yeah, that's why he actually came to have a meeting with Dana White to finalize his contract.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow.
Yep. And there he goes again.
In Brazil. And then instead he was like, what? You slapped Artem? Bitch, fuck your boss. Where's the dolly? Everything. Get the title fight. Give me the nearest dolly. Like, oh my lord. Oh my god. Like,
isn't that crazy? I don't know. I feel like Conor would have got a lot of backlash for fighting RDA instead of coming back to fight Khabib.
Oh my god, Jorge said slap. Oh, bro, I swear to God, Jorge won.
This stream is not agreeing with me.
Is it
This
slunch?
stream is not agreeing with me.
Bro, when you sent me that in the email, I looked it up multiple times. He sent me like how to say like salute and good health and like Celtic or something like slanchva. I looked that up. I wanted to repeat that. I'm gonna check that shit. Go ahead, guys. I'm gonna hang out. My bad. I just saw I was looking at the chat. Full time, can I have a link? Yeah, I'll plug you in, Arpit. We're gonna be gone pretty soon. I mean, we've talked a lot, but I mean, I'll be here till you guys are. But yeah,
Are you doing a fight companion on Sunday?
Oh, Saturday. I'm doing a fight companion, 100%. They said PFL's tomorrow. I don't know who's fighting tomorrow on PFL, but I might want to check that out.
Is it PFL?
Yeah, I saw like, and Kevin Hart recently invested into PFL, but he actually like did a promo like, "Hey guys, PFL this Friday, motherfucking." Like he's investing and promoting it. So PFL, I think it's, and it's not any PFL. Their playoffs are starting, right? Like me, I'm a big PFL supporter for Kayla Harrison, honestly. I've only watched the Kayla Harrison cards. But, excuse me, they're actually doing some cool shit. Excuse me. It's the fucking proper 12. Yep. They're actually doing some pretty cool shit. They got some $1 million tournaments going on. A light heavyweight, a lightweight. Next year, they're doing a female lightweight. Like, PFL is doing some pretty cool shit. And they're on NBC, actual, like, mainstream channel, which allows them to use Kayla Harrison's footage when she was in the Olympics. The UFC can't even use Henry Cejudo's Olympic footage because they don't have that deal with NBC. So, Kayla Harrison with the PFL, who's on NBC, they get to use her footage there. She's got the deal with PFL. So, I fuck with the PFL and the fact that they got some celebrity investors and Kevin Hart or whatever. I think that's pretty cool. So if you're interested in just watching MMA tomorrow, check out the PFL. But other than that, we will be doing a fight companion for UFC 229 on Saturday. It's going to be litty but giddy. And I fucking wish I could find a small bottle of proper 12 because I did not intend to drink over half the bottle today. But yeah, maybe this is all, I don't know. Maybe this is all we'll be drinking, guys. So, the greatest Daniel Cormier says you will get yourself killed. Don't mess with a Dagestani Muslim. And that's why I was so surprised. Conor McGregor wants all the smoke after the fight. He was like, yo, what happens on Saturday happens, and after that, we'll continue to see what happens. Like, damn, Conor.
Dude, what the fuck? I know, right? Like, why wouldn't you want to end it?
Like, you don't want to just get in there and handle it like men and be done with? He's like, and then after that, guys, it's going to get worse for them. Like, what?
Crazy.
Like, what the
Imagine fuck? You start seeing all these Dagestani fighters get released by the UFC.
Oh, that's so funny.
we get some FBI agents show up on Ali's house, like you have done.
Where's Noah?
You've gone too far.
Gets deported. Like,
And he's an FBI informant too.
You guys seen that like that FBI meme?
He's a part-time terrorist, full-time FBI informant.
You guys seen like that CIA meme when they come out of nowhere, like, and they just ransack somebody's house? You never seen that? Yeah, that's what they're gonna do to Ali.
Dude, that's so funny.
How's Noah?
How's Noah?
That's what they're gonna say in the quote.
You guys don't understand. Anytime
No,
Ali posts a tweet, even if it's about how good he's doing, like I saw Ali Abdelaziz post a tweet. He was like, "Yo, I got Henry Cejudo, Sarge Eubanks, this motherfucker. I got him all title fights, and no one thought I could." And they said, "What'd you get, Noah?" Why you doing that?
I'm gonna talk about a UFC guy with the craziest past.
Best manager ever.
Father. He feeds his
Man,
fighters
crazy
fast. Embedded
Harrison Foreman.
Fighters are well fed at his house. Got like pasta. He's got like all kinds of shit.
I'll say that. I don't understand that, man. Ali, honestly, if you're looking at... I'm just being honest. I don't give a fuck. I get it. He might have child support and might have a history I don't know about. But when you're looking at Ali Abdelaziz as a motherfucking manager, there is nobody better. And I'm not just talking about the opportunities he gets for his fighters. Motherfucking Kamaru Usman was in a goddamn crowd brawl with somebody that was kneeling and supporting Trump. A wild motherfucking troll. And Ali Abdelaziz got in a crowd brawl with his ass like, fuck it, you want smoke with Kamaru? Bada boom. But he's, not only does he get you the best opportunities available, he's by your side. He doesn't just fight with you in the crowd. He trains with you. Oh, you need someone to roll with? Don't worry, I fucking roll too. Like, Ali, I don't understand it. It seems like he has enough money. Why would he not pay his fucking... You know what I'm saying? $50,000, and I could be wrong because I'm so broke and I don't understand how much $50,000 is. But I just feel like for rich people, that doesn't seem like a lot, and I feel like Ali should have had that taken care of because his reputation is so good.
He could have properties, you know, and other things he invested his money in.
Yeah.
So he might not have that like.
I just feel like he's got such big clients.
But he could own a lot of things that like.
That's true. I hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stamina.
No one needs a new pair of shoes.
You can't tell me that if he didn't get like $1,000 from every single one of his fighters, you couldn't clear that bill.
And that's what I'm saying. He's got big fighters, right? It's not like he's just got a stable of a bunch of fucking Bellator fighters. He's got like some of the biggest fighters in the UFC that get title shots. He's got champions under his roster. It's not like he's starving at all. He's like the biggest, best. You can just name some of Ali's clients like Kayla Harrison, Henry Cejudo, and I'm starting at the bottom. I'm starting at the bottom. Zabit fucking Kamaru Usman. Like
he has like 50. Dude, he has like 50 fighters, dude.
Big name
manager has 50 fighters. This guy is a former terrorist. He's an FBI informant. I mean, Khabib is managed by some of the shadiest people, and his career really got started when a billionaire from Russia who has like millions of dollars in tax evasion is getting locked up for that shit. I mean, he's one of the reasons to why Khabib had the money to train in the first place.
I completely hear that, but I just don't understand how people can put that on Khabib. Like, I get
I'm not
that.
putting it on Khabib.
Hold on one second. That's like Nate Diaz, right? Nate Diaz used to fucking do jiu-jitsu for fucking lunch, right? Like, when he started as a fighter, like, he wanted... Oh, we get to go out to eat if I do jiu-jitsu? Okay. So what if, come to find out 10 years later, that motherfucker was some billionaire that had some investments and some shit that made him look shady? Does that mean Nate Diaz is a fucking terrorist because the guy that sponsored him had, you know?
Full time. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not Khabib's fault that some of the shadiest people. I mean, Khabib, Khabib grew up in a shack. He's from the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So of course he's going to accept money from guys that are probably shady people. You know, I mean, like, this reminds me of in boxing. Like, one of the great heavyweights was Max Schmeling, who was basically sponsored by Adolf Hitler, and he didn't have a choice. If he didn't have a choice, because if he tried to denounce Adolf Hitler, he would have been killed. So he said, "Okay, I just have to deal with this shit." And he did not support the Nazis. He did not support Hitler. But if he'd just rejected Adolf Hitler outright, he would have been killed. So he had to fight. He had to take the sponsorship, and he got his ass kicked by Joe Louis, and then he was treated like shit. His career went nowhere.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay,
Fight
well,
business.
So if Khabib loses, he's probably fucked.
It's a consideration. Definitely.
Maybe that's why he might retire.
This is why his manager matched up Khabib with so many bums. This is why he has an undefeated record, because there's too much money involved. They're not going to put this guy in.
And they're pretty corrupt in Russia, man. Did you see that?
I mean, a lot of the guys he's fought are not good.
I'm glad you guys said that, because this is something that does not get talked about.
And Edson Barboza are his best accomplishments.
I feel like this is the elephant in the room. Like, you and I might be wrong because I'm completely ignorant to the subject, but am I the only one that remembers like the Russian doping scandal in the Olympics? Am I the only one? I don't want to bring that up if I'm out of line. I'm just saying, like, that has always struck me as curious. Like, with like, if there's anybody that can beat USADA, I'm sorry, like, I just feel like it might be something to do with. It's so crazy because I hate taking MMA into politics. It's so fucking.
It might
weird.
be true, but I mean that could be true. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean Russia went over the top with their cheating. With the doping scandal, and they put all that in a documentary. There's a documentary about that called the Icarus documentary. Which came out on Netflix. Yeah, it won an Oscar. It won an Academy Award. It's a fantastic documentary. Man, these guys, even without the over-the-top cheating from Russia, these guys who are like strength and conditioning coaches and guys that are like chemists that make drugs and stuff like that, all of these fighters are on something. Either if they're not on steroids or PEDs, they're on supplements.
Like the Diaz brothers said, man, everybody is on something.
And hold on, they also pointed out in the documentary that there are so many different ways to be random drug and urine testing. The guy who was even the subject in the documentary said that the random drug testing is basically the measurement of an IQ test. If you can't beat it, then you're a fucking idiot.
And
you can't be random drug testing, then you're a fucking
And we're
moron.
probably going too far into
Jones
conspiracy land as far as this, you know, because if there's not a failed test, it's hard to accuse anybody. But I will say, I hear what you're saying, Brian Jensen, and I kind of agree. I mean, we've heard, like, GSP tell you, like, on the Joe Rogan podcast, like, you can beat the system. Like, there's a lot of the
GSP shady as fuck, too.
And yo, that's a whole, like, we would have to do a fucking separate channel, MMA 10, like, you know, if you've never failed a drug test, you can't really go there. That's kind of the unwritten rule. And that's why I like to just stick with what Nate Diaz said. All these motherfuckers
GSP has had the most physique changes I've ever seen of anybody in a UFC career.
I mean, you know, it's the colitis, right? It's like,
I remain
you can't,
unbiased.
on top of not being able to question people that haven't failed drug tests, you can't question injuries, right? Like colitis, like ulcerative colitis is a serious deal. You can't question that. Really. And it's like, oh, guys, I was eating too much meat. See, so that's a weird topic, but I do definitely hear where you guys are coming from.
Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
Why didn't he want to fight Robert Whittaker?
Thank you. Like this is a topic that I would.
What about Robert Whittaker?
He's saying, why didn't GSP want to fight Whittaker? And I'll answer you
because he would have got washed.
No,
he
and I agree with what Brian Jensen said. He would have got washed. Maybe that's why. But the technical reason is because he got ulcerative colitis. He couldn't stay at the weight class, and you can't question someone's injuries. So what you would have to do to make that argument for me is you would have to say you call bullshit on his injury. Do you do that?
Did you see how skinny GSP is recovering from his illness?
Yeah,
it looks like he's at 160.
I think that's a test weight.
That's crazy. Yeah, probably.
Crazy how much weight he lost.
I don't think GSP would have fought again even if he wasn't sick. I don't.
Well, he's not going to fight at 185. He's fighting for big money fights. Michael Bisping was a money fight.
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker is not a money fight. Michael
Bisping
was a real money fight.
Okay, I agree with that. But this is the thing.
He should have fought Woodley, not fucking
and
Bisping.
maybe I shouldn't press this too far, but this is the thing. I agree with what you're saying.
Woodley could beat him.
Hold on, Brian Jensen.
Your ass.
I agree with what you're saying. I don't want to press this issue too far, but I'm doing it. But I want to say, so if you believe these things, do you believe George St. Pierre, and maybe this, I shouldn't ask this on live, do you think he was bullshitting about the colitis, or do you think he legitimately couldn't? Okay, thank you, Stamina. He legit had it, and he couldn't fight at middleweight no matter what. He had
he didn't look good physically in that fight. He looked a mess. Like how you
Quickly, man.
GSP is normally a physical specimen to look at. Pause.
Who
But-
did the same
like,
thing?
no, he looked terrible there.
Who looked like a mess?
And GSP against Bisping, he didn't look good, and he gassed hella early as well. He was fucked.
Yeah, and GSP was kicking his ass, but yeah, he looked like an old man. He looked like a dude that hadn't fought in 5 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like a dude that hadn't fought in 4 years. And luckily, he fought Michael Bisping, who is not a great fighter. Michael Bisping's a really
So
good
I'll ask
fighter.
you this.
Someone said
Michael
he was
Bisping's a really good fighter.
One
I
eye.
mean, that was a very, very close fight up until GSP
Oh,
dropped
yeah.
him and then submitted him.
Well, GSP had to dig deep to beat
Yeah,
Michael
GSP
fucking Bisping.
GSP got
He had
hurt
to
2 or
dig
3
deep to beat
times that
Michael
fight.
Bisping.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, honestly, I don't really think that GSP is really juicing because, I mean, he probably is. But the reason that he left the UFC is because everybody was taking steroids. That's why he left. That was the main reason. He's like, I'm not coming back until there's actually random drug and urine testing. I mean, Johnny Hendricks was clearly on steroids.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's not just steroids is one thing athletes can do. You know,
Yeah.
most of them will probably be on HGH, which is probably more effective, to be honest. Like Chad Mendes is on HGH. A lot of the
them are
guys
probably on all that shit.
The thing is, if somebody fails a test, they go automatically steroids. You know, but it's like, yeah, it's not all steroids. There's a lot of other things that are just as good.
People, I hear what you're saying though. Infamous people like hear performance enhancing drugs and they assume steroids, and there's a whole lot of shit that falls into PEDs.
That's why I made that distinction, because there's a difference between steroids, performance enhancing drugs, and supplements. Tyron Woodley takes USADA supplements. When I was training at the UFC gym for a few months, you could buy the fucking supplements that are there. They're like boxes. They're like bins that cost $50 or $100 that you could buy with supplements. They're all there.
Yeah.
This shit you could buy on the shelf, and USADA says you can take this. Like,
is this a show?
That you know how you could beat VADA testing in boxing, which is the toughest testing in boxing. You know how you could beat it? You become friends with Victor Conti, the guy who's in charge of Balco. You get his phone number, you call him, and he'll tell you what to take.
Nah, boxing's even easier because they sign up for testing when they sign up for the fight, so you could easily cycle off.
Yeah,
the fight's coming up.
What I'm saying is VADA is tougher than USADA because the guy who runs USADA in the UFC isn't even involved in boxing. The guy who they call the Golden Snitch, that guy's not even in boxing, because if he was, none of these boxing matches would be happening. But USADA is really much a joke in boxing, but VADA is actually different because VADA actually analyzes the molecules in your DNA and in your bloodstream. So VADA goes a little bit deeper. But all you have to do is call Victor Conti, and he'll tell you what to take and what not to take. That's all you have to do. Just call Victor Conti, get his phone number, and he'll tell you what to take and what not to take. And it's that fucking simple. It's the same with USADA in the UFC. They have a list of things you can take and not take, and you could call them.
And with that being said, fucking free O'Malley. But no, I do want to say though, guys, man, it's been a fucking awesome panel. I want to do closing thoughts though, guys. We've been on here. We've been talking Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor. We've been talking. We talked Eubanks versus Shevchenko a little bit, and of course Harrison versus Cyborg. I'm sorry, future Harrison versus Cyborg. And I think we all can agree that Cyborg, it's going to be hard to stand a chance against future Harrison, right? I think we all agree to that. But maybe not. But either way, I want to get the closing thoughts of the panel, and we'll start with Brian Jensen, man. Before we get out of here, just on anything we've talked about today, Brian Jensen, thank you for coming on the panel. What do you want to say for your closing thoughts? You're muted, by the way, Brian, if you are speaking. Brian's probably halfway through his rant, like, these motherfuckers need... So we'll start the other way, because Brian might not be here. Robert, give us your closing thoughts on the stream, man. Anything we've talked about today or anything we haven't talked about?
So, by Saturday night, no matter what happens, we're going to have a new lightweight GOAT, no matter the outcome. Khabib, Conor wins, he's the lightweight GOAT. That's how I see it.
Okay. I like that. So I'll ask you this one more question, Robert. So as of right now, before the fight, who do you give the edge to as far as lightweight go?
I I would say Khabib, just because he's been more active. I mean, Conor hasn't fought in 2 years, so that's a long time, man. 2 years, he's gone and done his boxing thing. So, but that, I mean, that can change with just one result. If Conor beats him, he
can change
tomorrow. As far as I can say, he's the GOAT.
Or Saturday, okay. All right, Robert. Well, thank you for coming on the panel, and I enjoyed that last thought. What about you, Exist?
I'm out, guys. I'm out.
All right, later, Robert.
All right, guys. I got to go. You have a good night.
All right, Brian. We'll see you, man.
Take care, Brian.
All right, Exist BMX. Anything we've talked about today or anything we failed to talk about? What are your closing thoughts on the panel, good sir?
You put me on the spot, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh, it's all good. We can come back to you. Just anything. It can be McGregor versus Khabib. It can be your prediction.
I just can't pick that fight, to be honest. I just want to see it unfold. I can't pick Khabib or Conor. It's just like, I just want to see it clash. Like, I can't pick it.
Okay, I got one question for you. Did you see Tony Ferguson's media scrum?
Yes.
And what did you think about that?
I think Tony is the man.
Let's go. Who's your favorite motherfucking
I just come out of
Ninja
knee surgery myself, and I'm like, damn, he's my hero. Knee surgery? Oh, it's no joke. It's fucking shit. But he came out fucking flaming, and I reckon he's going to kick some ass.
Let's go. Okay, well, one last question for you, Exist. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Mario...
What?
Delangelo?
Michelangelo. What the
Mario
Delangelo. Okay,
amazing.
We'll take
Luigi.
Amazing. Luigi what? Luigi Donardo?
Sonic Tails.
Okay, all right.
Mighty
well,
Ducks?
thank you for joining the
you
panel.
You like the Mighty Ducks?
Hell yeah, man. So, well, I appreciate it. Exist BMX. Thanks for hopping on the panel, man. It's been fun. Glad you could hop on. Infamous MMA, man.
I apologize. I just came from the hospital and they gave me a painkiller and I just drank a beer, so I'm a little bit loco.
More the merrier, man. That's good. You're on another level like me. I probably drank a little too much Proper 12. I was trying to save it. So hopefully you're feeling good, man. Have a good night. We're 2 days away from UFC 229. Thanks for coming on the panel, man. And
thanks, man.
Yes, sir, man. And Infamous MMA, what's your closing thoughts, good sir?
Man, I'm just pumped for this fight. Like, it's so close that I don't even like care about waiting at this point. It's already here. Like, I'm curious, like, how the I'm curious how, like, how the winner will react, because they're like, they ain't shaking each other's hands or nothing. Like, this is deep, man. This little rivalry they got going on is deep, but
okay,
yeah.
Well, I like the way you put that. I want to ask you one question. In the octagon, McGregor versus Khabib, main event, do they touch gloves?
No way.
No?
No.
Yeah, when McGregor's gonna touch his fucking face with his glove. That's as far as I go.
I hope it doesn't go like ALDO.
Dude, I hope we do see Conor taking, like, I'm a Conor fan, but I'm a fight fan first, man. I want to see how he does on the ground. Like, if he has anything, you know, for Khabib on the ground, I'll be interested to see if he worked on anything.
When Conor submits Khabib, come back here and remind me.
I think what I think he's gonna do. I think he's gonna try to. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if Conor submits Khabib, the world implodes.
Yeah, that would.
Wow.
That would be crazy. But
if Conor submits Khabib, dude.
Yeah, I don't see Khabib tapping, even if he does.
I don't even want to sound gay. You can insert Conor's dick into a lot of people's mouths if he submits Khabib. And I say that because he's already looked at as like one of the best strikers. If he submits one of the best wrestlers, he's looked at as one of the most well-rounded, greatest martial artists of all time, not even close if he can submit Khabib. He's got a motherfucking brown belt, so wow. That would be crazy.
Yo, I think if Conor does win this, I feel like he's gonna get his black belt, just like what Woodley did with Till. I think Kavanaugh's gonna give him his black belt.
That would be crazy. Yo. Kavanaugh, bring it. Dylan Dennis, bring the black belt.
Black belt by Dylan Dennis.
Dylan Dennis said, "I'm pretty much a better Khabib. I don't see what all the fuss is about."
Dennis. That black belt with a fucking pink trim on it if it's Dylan Dennis bringing it.
Oh, Dylan Dennis, oh my lord. All right, Stamina Man, give us your closing thoughts, brother.
Man, my closing thoughts are to do with something that I didn't even expect to hear at all during the press conference, let alone what I actually heard. I found Conor's answer to the question regarding the 165 division to be very interesting, and it was nice to hear because of how positive he was about it, but B, because the perspective that he put forward about, you know, the way in which people ask for things seems to be more of this whole kind of like complaining, kind of entitled kind of way of speaking, rather than doing the pros and cons aspects of it and making a case for it. I was like, this is awfully mature of you, Mr. McGregor. Fucking hell, you that's fucking about stuff was just super reasonable about that division. I was like, well, look at that. Now he said that. And he said that the way that he has, Dana will consider it now. If anyone else had said that, I don't think it would have been given a moment's like entertainment. But I think because he said that, and because he said that in the way that he did, I think that's going to be a big help towards actually getting that over the line, I think.
Okay, Sam, and I'll say this. I don't know if you heard it or not, but that wasn't actually the first time McGregor spoke of this division this weekend. Yesterday, he spoke about like the 165 division. And also, to what you were saying about the way he spoke about it, Conor showed a humbleness a couple moments to a surprising level to me. Like, where I was like, yo, okay, kind of like where he was like praising Dana White for a second, like, yo, Dana, like, I get it. This is a big show. Everyone loves what we do here, but honestly, what you've done with the UFC and like with the way Conor was just kind of giving props and respect kind of where it was due, I thought that was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't quite expect it. Of course, we kind of came into it expecting a bravado from McGregor. The fucking champ does what he wants. Food, Khabib, I'm out of here. Bottles, motherfucking ice, parties. But he came in respectful, almost humble to I don't want to say humble because he still was talking shit about what he was going to do to McGregor. But I hear what you're saying, Stan, and I was still a little pleasantly surprised the way Conor came off. And when he spoke about the 165, I like what you said, too, because if anybody can get through to fucking Dana, maybe it's McGregor.
Right. So let's see now. I think I want the rest of the division, the media type people, to all actually take that on board and to, in a sense of, you know, Project Spearhead or whatever, just have a united front where everyone's kind of singing from the same song sheet and like, look, this is what it is. This is why it's a good idea to even show them Luke Thomas's video about the 165 draft and be like, look, these are the kind of people that you could take from 155 and 170 without cannibalizing either of the divisions and whatever. You know, of course, we're not going to advertise to you that this is going to end weight cutting. It's not even about the whole weight cutting thing. It's just simply about people feeling that they can fight competitively against other opponents who haven't just cut a chunk of weight. So if anyone who wants to cut weight, they can cut weight, but there's still more likely to be people that are the right size for that division. So, yeah.
It'll mix up the other two divisions as well because they're stacked. Like the lightweight and the featherweight are stacked. And if you have another one and the welterweight, it'll just spread it out evenly.
Yeah, 100. I agree.
It'd be good. But I'm just sick of the teasing. I just want to know the information.
And man, I don't even want to end on this. This is another one of those questions we're not going to have an answer to, and I feel stupid for asking it because it might have got me in trouble. What the fuck was up with Diaz and Poirier, like, working together? And maybe not, but to announce they were fighting at 165. Like, Diaz came out and was like, yo, I'm fans. I'm happy to announce I'll be bringing in the 165-pound title. And Poirier, 10 minutes later, was like, hey, everybody, 165 title, Madison Square main event. Let's go. I'm like, how the fuck did these two guys, like, do you guys hate each other? Well, you don't hate each other, but you're getting ready to fight. Like, did they come together to make that power move? Like, hey, UFC. I don't know. That was weird to me, but I don't want to end the show on some weird-ass shit.
I just think that Nate Diaz thinks he's got all the power that McGregor has, but he doesn't.
So did he, like send Dustin Poirier a
that
message and say,
power
hey,
that
bro,
McGregor has, but he thinks he does?
Poirier probably just played along with Diaz.
Yeah, he
that's what I'm
played
thinking.
along with Diaz. Like, oh, Nate Diaz said we're fighting from 165. I'm in.
It's like, yeah, cool by me. He probably saw the mentions come up on his phone. It's like, oh, sick. 165.
Oh, what? We are?
Fuck yeah.
I didn't get a contract.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get a contract, but hey, fans, like, it's official. I'm like, yeah, it's all good though. It's gonna be crazy, and just that'll be my closing thoughts. For one, last shot of proper 12 before the motherfucking presser or the fight card. But my last thoughts are the people complaining about UFC 230. And I know there's a lot of people, and reasonably so. I even understand it. Sarge Eubanks versus Valentina Shevchenko is the bankrupt on Wheel of Fortune. Makes no sense. Don't love it for the main event. I get that. But as long as we got Diaz versus Poirier, we don't have a reason to complain. Motherfucking, if you switch them around, you're not even crying, right? Like, anybody ask yourself that question. If you switch it around,
middleweight fights.
Like even Rockhold versus Weidman 2's on the, like it's a solid card. And Jacare versus Branch, Adesanya versus Brunson. Like it's a good
guy that runs
card.
around the ring.
The only thing is people don't like Sarge Eubanks specifically, and maybe even Valentina Shevchenko being in the main event. But if that was the co-main event, no one gives a fuck. So get your panties out of a bunch and fuck around and pray for a McGregor fight, and maybe your girl will break out her motherfucking red panties, like Anderson Silva said. With that being said, that's pretty much all I got to say, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for a live show before work. Thank you, panel, for coming through. This was awesome. Salute to the Come Get This Work Mobcast every Thursday. They do a live show where anybody can join and talk MMA. That's kind of where this conversation got continued from. So thank you guys for joining the panel. And everybody else, man, we about to be out of here. I might fuck around and play 1 or 2 songs. Maybe not.
Good morning, L-Dub. Don't work too hard.
I got carried away earlier with the UFC Yankovic. I played like 18 songs. No, but yeah, guys.
And I listened to all of them like a prick.
Thanks for coming through, man. It is what it is. I enjoyed this shit. I gotta fucking tear it down so we can get back up and ready for tomorrow. So thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. We're about to go to UFC Yankovic on YouTube and subscribe if we haven't yet. And then we're gonna listen to some songs and get out of here. So salute to the panel. Salute to the chat. It is what it is. Let the full-time Philly know what you think in the comments. We out.
Peace out, guys. Take care, Infamous. Take care, Exorcist.
Peace.
Boom. All right, now let's get that back over here. Boom. Boom. We here, full-time family. It's time to end the show. And now it's time for So Long. But we'll sing just one more song, right? Thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart, right? Thanks to me and you, right? Anybody? And my dog Blue. Anybody? Nobody. Anybody. We can do anything. Let's pull up UFC Yankovic. That what you wanna do. Bow, 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 bow. Let's go. Woo! Irish holy water. I feel like hearing some disrespectful shit. I gotta shut the stream down after this song. I'm gonna go play Eminem Kill Shot.
Take money. Take money.
Hey.
Take money. Take money.
First off, fuck Nick Diaz and fuck you, Nate. East side, when we ride, come equipped to bang. You claim to be a fighter, but don't fucking fight. You puff on fat joints, sit and stuff your pipe. I'm an American top team, training hard as shit. Nathan Diaz and the Scrap Pack are some mark-ass bitches. I'm throwing punches up in bunches at your grill. Keep them coming, cause I'm gunning for the kill. You know the deal. Nick Diaz, where's your girl? I heard you beat her. Maybe you're fighting her cause you can't buy a win in the UFC. And Gilbert Melendez currently riding a 4-fight losing streak. Y'all got Cesar Gracie fight team in these streets looking weak. I let you niggas know that it's beef for life. Then let the east side ride tonight. Scrap Pack murdered on wax deceased. Fuck with me and get your ass beat. Grab your Glocks when you see the diamond. Call your squad when you see the diamond. When I rock you, bitch, I'm coming for the finish. UFC 230, Nate Diaz gon' get it. Nigga, I hit him up. Hey, real quick. Stamina MC and Trollbuster. What are y'all talking about? Me or something else? I'm just reading the chat curious. I thought his Nico Montano tirade was crazy, but this, ooh lordy. Y'all talking about me? Trollbuster says Stamina He doesn't want to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. Sounds bitter as fuck. Like she's. I don't think you guys are talking about me. Okay, I had to make sure. I was like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, what the fuck did I... Okay, I think you guys might be talking about Big Dog the Coach. So, one more song and then... Alright, guys. I said that earlier. No, I'm dead serious. One more song. Oh, I still haven't listened to this. If you guys weren't here for the stream earlier, look at this fucking bullshit, you guys. Oh, my God. Sean O'Malley kill shot. Look at this bullshit. Look at this mother. I want to watch my. Look at this bullshit. If you type in right now on YouTube, and this, I fucking shouldn't even be still streaming, guys. I shouldn't even be still streaming. This is shit that I shouldn't even be saying, because I don't give a, you guys don't want to hear this. But this is the shit that pisses me off, dog. This shit pisses me off, man. How many fucking times can you search Sean O'Malley kill shot and pull up anything but the only fucking thing on the internet? How many Sean O'Malley kill shots are on the fucking internet? So how come our Sean O'Malley kill shot, the professional version, the one that was produced by Stockton Slap, salute to Jorge One, fucking God amongst men, why does that not pop up on the search? You pull up our shitty one, I get it. At least one of them comes up on our other channel. But what the fuck is going on with the Full-Time MMA YouTube channel where our videos don't show up on the search bars, our videos don't show up on the suggested tabs, our GoFundMes get flagged the fuck down? Sorry guys, that shit just pisses me off when I think about it sometimes. Cause that, like many other things, I got so much bullshit that goes on. I just push that to the side and keep grinding, but goddamn, that's so stupid. That reminded me of it. But also, I still want to listen to this Davishvili kill shot, Sean O'Malley. I still want to hear this, but still, that doesn't change the fucking fact that we have to type in 6 goddamn full words to find the one we're looking for. Now you have to type in Sean O'Malley kill shot Full-Time MMA if you want to hear the real version.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time
All right,
MMA.
guys.
Don't be a bagel bite, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
Prince the producer.
Dana just replied to my text last night. I sent him one and I asked who's next. He told me Jose, so I told him no sweat. I'ma fold him like a taco, I'ma beat him half to death. It's Sean O'Malley, bitch. Don't let these looks fool you. I'm always down to kick ass. And no, I'm not a racist, but I'll pound a spick fast. If you get up in my way, you're my route to the cash. I apologize, cause y'all sensitive as fuck. I know y'all gon' cry, but I'm a little drunk and I'm always high. I've been smoking on some skunk, sipping on some wine. Welcome to the Sugar Show, sweeter than a motherfucking Tootsie Roll. If you didn't know, then you wouldn't know. At UFC 229, I'm sending shots like a scared white man at a black with a hoodie on. And my bitch got a booty going, got my woody on. Made it hard to even make it through the song, but I had to cause I had to do you wrong. Had to let the world know I'm about to smoke you like I do a bong. Motherfucker.
Let's go. Kabir MMA says cringe. Kabir, lick on the motherfucking Irish bollocks, as McGregor would say. With that being said, guys, I'm out for the night, man. It is what it is. Thank you guys for coming through. If you haven't yet, if you're listening to the replay, hit thumbs up. And if you just ain't in position to do that, you know what I'm saying, then fuck the thumbs up button. But let the Full-Time fan know what you think in the comment. I'm out till tomorrow. I'll see you guys before work. We motherfucking out.